We will open this Selectmen's meeting of October 24th, 2013. Let the record show all Selectmen are present except Catherine Dawson. She will be joining us as soon as she gets out of her health officer conference. At this time, I will like to entertain a motion to go into non-public per RSA 91A:3C. Matters which discussed in public would likely affect adversely the reputation of another person.
Second.
Roll call vote?
Yes.
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 Did you talk about personal information?
No, financial, yeah.
Yeah, we should seal the
We're right.
minutes.
Make a motion that we seal the minutes of the non-public as they pertain to personal information.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, next on the list, approval of minutes 10:10. This best pepper.
That's what he's trying to
Yeah.
That's really mean of the mortgage holder to say, oh, I want to live in the house now, so get the hell out. That's basically what he's telling them.
I haven't one message. I haven't checked it out, which is where he normally calls me.
Is if he's...
Okay, yeah, no, I'll try to see him over the weekend.
But he doesn't do that. That's what he said.
On page 2, we need to, just a heads up that we need to make that decision tonight in order for the person that we designate for the Lakes Region Mutual.
Tomorrow morning, Sandy.
But Catherine wanted to
Copy
see it
the deed,
in black and white.
and here's a copy for you.
So,
I could give him that tomorrow.
so if he,
We're on camera.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, I'm just to say it.
Thanks.
Heads up.
Oh. Yeah,
So he's got a deed.
nothing stopping him.
I have another one to choose.
So, which one? This one up here?
Yeah, see this sentence, are you? Minutes. 10:10. We have to make a decision as to who we pick as our representative tonight, so they can attend the meeting on 10:30. Which is a big meeting, it's their budget meeting.
Is he willing to do that?
Yes.
Yes, on page 2, it says, Brad asked the board if they're going to decide on having Tim Joubert represent them before the meeting of LRMFA of 10/30/13. Lakes Region Mutual Fire, 10/30/13. No. I stand corrected, it's right. I'm already thinking of, in my head, of 2014, but I'm really in 2013 right now.
So we have to vote to accept him as
Yes,
our representative?
if that's what we choose to do.
Okay.
The other name that we threw out a couple weeks ago said yes, but either way, it doesn't matter to me,
Who's the other?
Tom. But I think this would be the better one as far as
Yes,
being around.
Yeah, he's around all the time. And, I mean, no, I have only the highest regard for the other one, but he's got other issues.
I really want to feel confident that this one knows what Tilton's needs are,
Right.
not the fire needs are.
Right.
That's my only concern.
Well, we can certainly walk
Either
them.
way. See?
That's coming through.
Have we had a conversation with him yet?
On page 3,
Does he understand that?
beginnings.
Yes, we asked him.
3 lines down.
You represent.
Selectman Jessen does not think.
I have it, I
Okay.
think.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Getting pretty good at this, Catherine.
What was the correction on page 2?
Beginnings, it says Jessamine does not think new beginnings.
Oh,
It's
okay.
think. There is no change.
Did you write down that idea for the old homestead? Did you tell Jim?
I told Doug, yes, I did.
I can't stop.
Under page 4, under cultural Grange expense, Selectman Jessamine does think,
No, we just corrected that. Does not, correct?
On page 4.
well, I'm not quite, I think there should be a little bit of clarification on this sentence, even if you put not, because does not think these items should be charged to the town hall, they should be charged to the senior center. There's no line item for senior center. So how could you charge them to the line, the
That's
senior?
what I said.
Said, so,
Yeah, but we
The senior
have,
center should pay
we have a line,
their own bills that
Then
are above.
what I'm saying, Joe, is that should be reworded, because there is no line item for a senior center, so you can't charge it to the senior center. So you'd have to reword it to say what your intent was, that the senior center should pick up the cost of these items.
It's culture, and it used to be called Grange, and then the board changed it to senior center.
No, it's cultural Grange expense, but it's what Selectman Jessamine said, these items should not be charged to the town hall, they should be charged to the senior center.
so otherwise they don't come out of the selectmen's budget.
That's my intent.
They are billed directly to the senior center and whatever funds they have, whether it's through donations or whatnot,
Cultural,
they pay.
range.
It doesn't come out of taxpayers' funds. Is that right, Joe?
that's my thing, that it doesn't come out of regular taxpayer funds.
That's what he said in this paragraph, it's yet to be decided. We haven't gone over the budget, that would be next week.
Right. Sounds like that's what his
doesn't want it to
intent
be.
was, is that it,
Right.
Okay.
It's just worded, what I'm saying is, I think that, 2 years from now, you're going to question what we've been saying here.
gotcha.
Okay, okay.
I don't have a copy of the line item budget on me.
It's under cultural range expense.
Most of her open.
So perhaps if he said what monies he didn't want used.
As long as you get the gist of it in there, I'm all right.
Instead of how it's going to be paid.
We also have the minutes?
No, I'm still reading. Unless everybody else is,
Yeah, it's listed as Grange expenses.
on page 6, the first sentence where it says, Selectman Dawson reported that she first contacted regarding this issue on March 28th as the health officer. On page 5, you read the letter. You wrote, put the letter exactly the way it was written. And then on the new page, could we just put in, instead of she, put in the name so that we know that it's a continuation of that conversation on the previous page? That way we'll know we're still talking about that issue. I'm okay with...
I'll make a
Everybody
motion, we accept the minutes of October 10th, 2013, as written and corrected.
Second?
Any more discussion?
Yes, there is. On page 8, second paragraph, second line, Winnisquam doesn't have an E in that location.
Oh, yeah.
I think we all got the gist of it, but you know. And that's all my discussion.
Okay. All those in favor of the corrections?
Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, Selectmen's reports. I'll go last, because I have a couple of things that need discussions. Who wants to go first?
Only thing I've got is the co-op, which is meeting tonight at 6 o'clock in Bow. It's a meeting for the GMQ, and I'm pretty sure that Dennis's figure is approximately 10% less than it was last year. We're currently running in excess of 20% lower MSW, but there's no telling, and so he put it down at 10%. So that will be voted on this evening. Other than the MetroCast contract,
Do we have the latest? Did we figure that out?
I can't, it says I'm connected, and then it says they can't connect me because the router is messed up. I don't know. If Tim was around, he could fix it, but...
Yeah, he's on vacation.
That's what he said.
He would like to print it, but he can't.
Is that the route?
I can't even connect now.
Okay, so you want to print the most recent cable contract?
I believe that was issued in May of this year. 5/2, I think, was when I sent out the original email.
What about the August one? I mean,
Here.
other than the fact that apparently I didn't get it all, several pages long, double-sided, but
The one I got made out, I had it up on my screen, but then I was trying to get it to send somewhere else, and the router shut down, or I don't know.
It's going.
This is from you, Bill?
Yeah.
From?
Yeah, I'm on.
I didn't know if they unplugged it when they cleaned.
It was,
They've unplugged my computer before.
Yeah, I actually I sent out this week a note to Tim, please send the copy that you're working from to each of the selectmen.
I didn't get it, and that's something he would have copied me on.
I didn't get it either.
He sent one back to me, I assumed he sent it to everybody.
No.
No,
The only, I looked for it, and that's why I asked Catherine today to print it out. I have,
Depending on what copy you've been reading, there's repetitive language, language with red lines underneath it, inserted potential new language by us and/or by MetroCast. So the copy that I sent out, and as soon as I get to a place where I can hook in, I will send it to you again. It's very Tilton specific, and the voted upon template by the consortium. The only thing that I would suggest is that after we've still got till the end of the year, and December apparently is when these things will all be finalized amongst the consortium people. We have a meeting coming up, the 10th or 11th of next month. No, I guess it would be the 11th, because the 10th is a Sunday. There's clarification, or there was one thing about the technology grants from MetroCast and the amount that they would be to help pay for equipment, say, that we might need, or that some town might need to help broadcast over their new drops at their various municipal buildings. And that language wasn't finalized, and perhaps we have although we didn't discuss it, we may have a resolution on that. But other than that, I'll send you, as soon as I go home, I'll send it out one more time, because I just was looking at it.
Okay, I just sent the one that you sent that's dated May 2nd. Is there anything more recent than that?
oh, I got that one,
I
that
just
you
got
just
it.
sent it.
You just got it?
Yeah, Joyce just sent it to us.
Yeah, but I can't access the internet, so if you open that, and the original part of that message is me, and well, there's the draft. Does it say Tilton?
It says, hello all, attached you will find a copy of the agreement.
That's it? Okay, Al's got it.
Okay.
I just couldn't send it.
And that's from May? So there haven't been any changes since May?
That was when the final version was agreed upon by the consortium. There's a couple issues to be worked out, that whole technology grant thing. There's the issues, of course, of where our drops are going to be, and the INET language. I think Tim even responded on the schools, to get the schools involved. Yeah, we were way on that.
okay, so I think what I copied was what came out in August, and this is system specifications and construction.
That was a potential change in the language to one section.
Can we put that on the agenda for next week as well, and we'll, now that we have the latest, and
Something, it's like foreign to me.
it's very foreign to me, but I'll get through it.
Yeah.
It's dry reading. It really is, but it talks about their responsibility for coverage in the town. And it talks about, a lot of it's legalese, it's written right off the federal laws, what they have to do in order to get it. And you'll see, the only one who'll like it's Catherine, probably. Well, she might not like the contract, but she'll like reading it.
I read it with a highlighter.
I know you will. But beyond that, once you've got your highlighted versions, then I suggest that we talk to Kate Miller at Donahue Chucker and Chiandella. She's semi-waiting. I says, chances are, Kate, that we're going to ask you, because none of us are cable, even me sitting through all of that stuff, I can't answer some of these questions intelligently with regard to what laws apply and what other towns might have done, but Kate can. This is her business. I hate her, but she's a lawyer.
Okay, so that takes care of the MetroCast. We'll take that up next on the agenda. Al?
Yeah, working on 822, gonna set an appointment with them on Monday to do a CO inspection of the main building. Working on church. Got somebody else helping me work on church. Somebody will communicate with them, because obviously they're not communicating with me. Tons of permits. They're coming in left and right.
That's a good thing.
The gentleman across the street
Yeah.
has requested a quote from a sign company in town, which they've called and told me. So he's working on that.
So we get rid of that orange, kind of?
I don't know how much, I don't know if you'll get rid of the orange, but you'll get rid of some of it.
Okay.
But anyways, that's it for me for this week. Oh, and we did the, yeah, I just, never mind, just escaped my mind, sorry. We did that. How's that work for you? Oh, the oral boards today at the PD. It worked out pretty good.
Isn't that normally for hiring somebody?
Well, it's to keep them on a list, and the list lasts about 2 years.
Does it cost money?
No.
Okay.
Well, it costs money as far as the detective that's doing it, it's his time. So it would cost money to do that.
You have to
This is for part, yeah, and we have no part-timers.
Smart.
So, yeah,
I know.
you,
I know the rest of the story.
you want to update the list periodically
Have to.
to keep it going. Otherwise, you're in a bind, and then you're 3 months going through oral boards in order to hire if we have anybody that leaves. And that's what you don't want to get caught up in.
I'm just surprised that we're not notified as a board of it. I went to a health officers conference today, which was much longer than normal and extremely informative, every single one of the topics. They should have spread it out over 2 days, so I have a list of things I'm going to write out for suggestions that we add to our housing ordinance. We basically adopted 48A, just as it's written, but there aren't very many communities that just use 48A. So that'll be coming. Trash is about the same. Picking up trash at least twice, 3 times a week. I had a phone call. There's a problem on Range Road and Pest House Road. So on Range Road, the one off of Caliph Hill Road, they had an extra dumpster, and it belonged on the other end of Range Road.
She means an extra can for recyclables.
What did I say?
Dumpster.
Dumpster.
Oh, yeah, recyclable dumpster. It belonged over on the
When
other...
that dumpster was assigned to a house on the other end of the road?
Range Road goes in Tilton, from School Street to Franklin. So I don't know what we call it. I think we still call it Range Road on the School Street end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we call it Range Road on the Caliph Hill
Road
end,
end.
on the east end of Caliph Hill, but when it gets to the west side of Caliph Hill, we call it Pest House Road.
Yeah.
I don't know what we call it in the Franklin end, but it's all Range Road.
Not good.
I knew
So
that.
the recyclable container, the extra one, belonged over on the other side of Range Road, which I talked to Public Works, and they took care of it. The people on Range Road, some of them keep their containers located at the intersection of Range Road and Caleb Hill Road. So other people use it as a dumpster.
There you go, that's where the
But that's
dumpster
not,
comes in.
as I explained to them, that's not an issue that the town is going to deal with, because they choose to leave it there. They'll have to deal with the trash that's put in their container. So I was looking at those roads. They also had complained that people were using the roads to drop off furniture, tires, and stuff in the woods.
So like the Salvation Army thing.
Yeah.
Well, they did that in the past, too.
I didn't see a problem on the east side of Caleb Hill and Range Road, the Pest House Road end, however. I went in as far as I chose to go, which was down to the big wet swale down in there, and picked up garbage along the way. There's McDonald's bags and just a bunch of stuff that people are throwing off. There must be people
Someone's having
enjoying
fun.
it with four-wheelers. But we have a cemetery up there. And it is being used. At the time, I didn't know who was using it, but there were green lawn chairs. They'd taken stones off the wall to make a fire pit. They had pieces of cardboard and trash all over the place. They had a bag of garbage hanging on a metal stand. They had dragged wood out of the woods to feed their fire. That was leaning haphazardly against the fence. That's all on town property, so I called the PD. And 2 officers came up. They went through the bag of garbage, found the name of an individual, contacted them. When I left, they were going to contact them and tell them to come up and clean the site, and return it to its natural origins, and to vacate it. I checked my cell phone messages this morning. I had a call from Officer Rowe, who had made contact with them. It's the haunted hayride people. They assured us that they would go up and clear the site and would stop using it for whatever they're using it for. And he said they indicated that they would like to use the property. Somehow it has something to do with their haunted hayride. I couldn't quite understand his message. He wasn't available, and I had to go to the conference. But it sounds like they wanted to put logs there or something for people to sit on at the drop-off point. And I called Lisa, the PD, this morning, and let Lisa Ogier know that it would be a Board of Selectmen's decision, that it's not a decision that I could make by myself. So,
I don't,
bring it to the Board of Selectmen. Do we want these people
I
to
would say
continue using this site that they...
No.
no, I'm sorry. There's something about desecrating a graveyard
Thank you.
that it really does, it goes right to the core of my
Yep.
inner being. It really does. I don't, for the many years that I've been with Kim and teaching gravestone rubbings and gravestone history, I can't imagine anybody taking stones off a stone wall in a graveyard. And it's, what are they teaching those children that are doing that run? That are making they're seeing it done, then they're gonna see it. How many graveyards do we have in Tilton? 30-something?
And the way that they had really polluted the site. Absolutely no regard that, yes, it's a graveyard, but it's also an historical site,
Absolutely. I can't, my vote's no.
No.
Absolutely not.
Janie said no, I said no.
So, I don't know if anybody wants to see the pictures.
Want an
but-
official motion? I mean, I don't think it's necessary, but...
Consensus is no.
Let me back up if you want to go through the pictures.
Guys, what do you say?
No.
No!
No, it's well, all right.
It's unanimous.
So if you push there, it'll bring you through a series of, this is what they did there.
I hate to check. I didn't hear you saying that.
That's an absolute abuse of
Well, look where it's
I
coming
mean,
from.
see there, this is where they have their, and it's
Yep.
also against
We'll
the
figure it
wire
out.
fence, which is
And that's in the grave?
No,
grave-
that's right up against it. It's
Wow.
on the outside, but you can see how close it is to the
Yep.
fence.
Uh-huh.
See
Absolutely.
the bag of garbage?
Yep.
That's garbage. I picked up the garbage. Oh, that's the plate on my Ford loader.
All right,
Do you want to see the picture?
so that's a resounding no from everybody.
You gotta back it up. Oh, you know that camera.
Some flowers on a grave, people got no business being playing in the graveyard.
Well,
Simple.
not in the graveyard, right up against the graveyard. I mean,
Right up against the wall. The wall's ours, isn't it?
here's the wall, here's the edge of their fire pit. And like I said, they got their wood leaning up against it. I mean, I just, it's town property where they're located.
Anything that they would need my approval for, they don't have. If it's their property and they want to do it a foot from the fence, well, that's just bad taste, but not on town property.
So we need to,
I had contacted the PD and was asked them to go up there a couple weeks ago to look at all that, before you did.
oh, really? So you had a report of it?
Yes.
So the other part of this is,
Nobody tells me nothing.
yeah,
Just as well.
I don't know how long, I mean, it looked to me like this has been being used like this for a while. And my suggestion is that we ask the police to patrol these sections of roads, and we also have the highway department look at them for trash and,
How far down is that to class 6, right? How far down is the gates and bars?
no gates and bars.
Okay,
Drive right through there.
I know there is no
They have
gates
a
and bars.
four-wheeler.
A good one.
A good one.
I've walked that road, and yeah, I hear what you're saying. But maybe we just need to put a gate on it if people are gonna go down there.
Can't.
Well, if you're going to put a gates or bars, I don't think you can lock them unless we have a passway for walkers. Can we, Joyce?
Well, then, I'm not proposing putting up a fence across the
It's
forest.
Class 6 unmaintained. We can close it off to vehicular traffic,
Yeah, but people still need to be able to get through.
Oh, yeah.
but we,
I'm not saying people couldn't walk down the road, but maybe that would cut down on the traffic a little bit back there.
Well,
On the other hand, that's a graveyard.
we maintain it.
yeah, but we could put the gates and bars just belong out, subject to.
And they can open those gates and bars when they need to maintain it.
Well,
It's something we might think about if this kind of thing it continues to happen.
Yeah. Anything
yeah,
else?
especially where they're beginning to use them as dumping sites. Who would like to contact the PD? Does anyone have a number that we could let them know tonight? Because I don't know how often that ride goes out. But we should let them know, the PD know as soon as possible. Because I don't have the name of the contact person.
I'll call him right now.
They're busy right now with the burglaries.
With who?
Go ahead.
They have more burglars?
Last night, yeah. 3.
I'll call him.
Did you see the pictures, or did you want to see the pictures, Joe?
I just did.
Oh, good.
I just did.
And that's, I was too busy today to have anything else, so you're lucked out tonight, guys.
Okay, I have a few things. One is tomorrow is Halloween downtown from 4 to 6, and Bob Cormier is in the process of securing a prize for the best costume. So is anyone available to help me out to judge?
What is it, just like we did last year?
Yep,
Well, I'd love to go. I think I can.
4 to 6.
Because it was a lot of fun last time.
Yeah, it
I liked
was.
seeing the costumes and the people.
Right.
You want to be a judge, Jane?
Love to.
4 to 6?
Come on.
Joe, Jane, Sandy, myself, there's 4. All right,
It's only one other thing I've got tomorrow, and if I can't get out of it, I'll let you know, but,
all right, let me know.
yeah, I will.
I have contacted a couple of people that I know that does the pointing and sealing of the bricks, and Joyce, you weren't here, but two of the people came up and looked at it, and then they're going to come back to you for
Are we talking about the town hall? Yes.
the town hall.
Two of them did come in.
Okay. And I told them if you weren't here to speak to Catherine, because Catherine would explain the job. But the other one that will be coming is Mike Bolduc.
He's one that came in.
Okay.
The gentleman that was referred by Veterans Home came in, and the third person, I've left 2 voicemail messages. He did not come in.
There's another one, John Baker Brick.
That's the one.
Okay.
I've called him twice, he has not come in. The 3 are Bolduc, Baker, and
Okay.
Browns, I guess his last name is. Those 3.
Okay. The Lakes Region Mutual Aid, we need to make a motion to select a designee as our Tilton's representative, as our community member.
Make a motion, we choose Tim Jubit for the representative for Tilton.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Yes.
Aye. Okay, as you know that there's water damage up at the senior center in the bathroom area. We got an estimate to repair that, but once he got up there, there's a little bit more than meets the eye. We had Catherine file a insurance claim. The insurance adjuster came today, suggested that he not completely repair the interior of the bathroom yet, just to kind of see if there's any more leaking. The top of the roof is pretty secure now that he's fixed that area. He also found a lot of moisture in the ceiling in the hallway, which abuts that bathroom. And just above it is that pipe that goes up from the vent tube that goes up from the bathroom,
Sewer vent.
the sewer vent, and it has a rubber grommet on it. And there was a piece that was not completely, Dennis fixed that today because he was there with the adjuster. The shingles are in pretty bad need of repair up there, and the roof. And it's been suggested that we get estimates and go ahead and next year and replace the roof. It's a municipal building. That roof, the main roof, has, how old? Maybe 40 years since that tin roof has been put on, at least. And it's lifting up. You know, on most of the ends of it, it's lifting up. We put in for a grant a couple years ago to get the roof done, and there was only 2 of us, and they couldn't decide who to give the grant to, so they didn't give it to anybody.
Well, isn't that just...
New Hampshire Preservation for...
Is it worth putting that in again?
So,
We should have split it.
should we get estimates on putting back a metal and shingle roof both, and then we can decide which to go with?
Metal.
And then perhaps
I
budget
would
it for
say
next
metal,
year?
but let's get estimates for both.
Right.
Yeah. and
Get estimates for both, and
They're going to
then,
want to give us their guarantees, because I'll tell you right now, a shingled roof wouldn't have lasted 40 years.
no.
That's true.
Metal is cheaper.
25 years, even 25-year shingles don't last 25 years.
No, they
I was
don't.
gonna say, I've got a 30-year shingle on my roof, and it's been 15 years, and I need a new roof.
There you go.
Me too.
Insurance
Yeah.
cover that?
We don't know. He's going to put in his report to Kathleen Casey,
Okay.
and we don't know what they're going to cover, but I'm going to go ahead and go get 3 estimates for roofing. I'm going to ask Mike Bolduc to go up, and Brian Harris is already going to give us an estimate. We just need 1 or 2 more people that do roofing.
What's our deductible?
500 is our deductible?
1,000. Our deductible for property is 1,000.
So,
The bathroom, what part of the bathroom didn't they do? like put new drywall where the mold was, or they didn't remove the
They haven't
mold?
cut that out yet, and he suggested to cut it out and remove all the wet, but not put back anything until we know that there's absolutely no water coming down. You know, maybe perhaps just put a sheet rock up and screw it up temporarily. A couple of days from now, whenever they put it up, Sunday, he was going to go up and finish it. But Dennis is going to get back to him, but say don't completely finish it, just go up and temporarily put it up there, and then check it a few days later and see if there's any water or anything on it. If there is, we still have an issue that hasn't been addressed.
So, what work did they do up there? They just checked it out, or they replaced shingles? or-
They replaced some shingles, they replaced some broken, some siding that was off, that had come off, and that had some holes, and the flashing around the chimney was completely come off, away from the
Yeah.
the chimney.
That's bad.
So they went up and did that. But there's two sections on that roof, just above the handicap bathroom and just above the kitchen where the overhang is, that's brand-new shingles. The rest is not new shingles at all. That was done in like 2000. So, do we want to get an estimate for both metal and architectural shingles
That's where the bathroom
for the
is.
old,
Yeah, and that's the
for the
flashing
part that has shingles now?
right
Do we
here.
want to try to
This
put
is
metal
the
there
flashing
too?
around the
Metal.
This is
Okay.
new right there, and
Yep.
and that just means
Costs a
the
little
water's
more,
running
but-
right
No,
down
it's
underneath
not.
the
worth it.
shingles.
Costs less.
No, it costs a little bit more.
And shingles?
A little bit more than shingles, but it lasts
It's popped up.
3 times as long.
I'm talking the price of metal.
Well, if they
might be
nail it
cheaper than
down,
the price
does
of
it
shingles
leak
right now.
anymore?
Oh,
They
because
haven't
of the
nailed it
price
down
of-
yet.
Okay.
Oh,
Correct.
he hasn't done that yet.
I think that does this, doesn't it?
Obviously.
Yeah.
It fluctuates.
It might be
I'm
right
thinking
right
it did,
now.
but I want to talk to the
Metal
guy.
is a lot cheaper than
Yeah,
shingle.
might be right now. God, I better call about my roof.
Fluctuates.
All right, so
It's the chimney that they flashed.
Mike Bolduc happened to be doing some work in our neighborhood, so I asked him to, if he wouldn't mind go over and check,
I guess this is the shingle.
and give us an estimate, you know, within the next couple of weeks, and we could go forward with that. All right, we do have, Mr. Sellers, has everybody,
Before we go on to something else, we
I
forgot
didn't give it
Sandy.
Yeah,
well, this is
And I
going to
have
be
just-
part of my report, but go
Oh,
ahead.
one other thing that I forgot, which is real quick. Can I jump in front of you? I was walking by Town Hall and got to looking at the doors.
yes.
Instead of walking in, I actually looked at them.
The front doors?
Yep, the
Oh,
front
yeah.
doors.
Did we just have those redone?
I've had 3
This is-
people comment on them this week.
This is the one that we don't use. The
Yeah.
metal is rusting underneath, and the finish is, we're gonna lose the doors.
I know.
And you make
If we
it
don't
big
do
enough to see.
something.
Yeah.
So while we're getting estimates, we might wanna get some for that.
Yeah, 'cause they didn't
And also-
get those sewer doors, did they? I didn't.
We had them sealed shortly after we got the doors, but we got the doors years ago, right? 6
Yeah.
years ago?
Oh, a long time
The
ago.
last time they were even finished, it was either 2008 or 2009, and then they were supposed to be refinished again free of charge.
Right, one was and the other one wasn't.
Right. But
Right.
the metal all along our building out front
Yep.
needs to be addressed.
Yes.
Sandblasted and painted.
Yeah, it's gonna rust through. There's a lot of places that it needs caulking,
Oh, yeah.
because water's just
Need to look
going
at it.
right in.
We should get some estimates on that.
I can get the prior RFPs we sent out and just update
Well-
them and send them out.
Can't Dennis do the sandblasting in the metal, the sandblasting and painting of the metal, so that we can save the metal? That shouldn't, I mean, the doors are a specialty, I get that.
Ask them.
We could tell him.
And caulking the steps.
Yes.
We could just have him do it. It's not, there's no expertise in what needs to be done to the metal.
Sandblast paint and do the caulking.
Yeah.
And then, I think when we had the doors refinished, they were physically removed.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
They removed one set at a time.
Yes, they did. Because those doors ain't light.
But who are you going to find to do that?
Well, I had an estimate from the last time, from an individual.
That was quite expensive, wasn't it? It was quite expensive, yeah.
He did.
What was it?
4 years ago, that person did
How
those
much-
doors, and now they look like that?
How much was
look
it?
I don't recall.
It's 'cause of the sun.
No.
Pulled her out
It's up.
today.
I was just trying to get an
I got a
idea.
door that's 4 years old that don't look like that, and it sits in the sun.
That takes us on.
Less than
is it
1,000.
varnish or paint?
The sun
And
is,
I don't know, mine is paint.
it should be an oil basin rather than a urethane, because the urethane sits on top
Yeah.
Yeah.
of the wood, and then when the sun gets at it, it just fades very quickly. And oil penetrates the wood much better, and you're gonna last a lot longer.
I think it was like $1,200 to do that, I better. For sure it was.
$1,200 to stain the doors.
Take them off.
Oh,
They have
wow.
to, they have to take them off,
Say, I'll
sand,
stain them for 800.
they have to sand them, stain them, oil them.
I think you did 3 coats.
Yeah.
3 or 4, yeah.
That's what took so long, was waiting for it to dry and then resanding each coat. Yeah, I have all that. I can, if we get out early
Okay.
enough tonight, I can scan it all and.
I like the smoke detector.
I really didn't forget you, I was going to do cellars under mine, but I'll do it under, I see that I put it under old business, so,
Oh, okay.
all right.
Well, the first thing I wanted to talk about is, the case that we have that has been put back into the planning board's hands. Well, we have received some information that will need to be recorded after the planning board has gone over it. And I wanted to see if the board would, after the planning board has looked at it this coming Tuesday, if we should send it over to the attorney that's been working on that case to take a look at before we give any answers. So that I'm bringing to you to ask to get an opinion from the board.
I think we should. Anything we get for that case, he needs to look at, so he's prepared if we have to go to court.
Joe's answer is
That's my
no.
opinion.
What is the document?
It is the condo docs and the, declaration and,
Don't we typically send those to an attorney when we get them? The planning board?
generally it depends on how complicated they are, and if they have addressed all the issues that the board brought up, then no, but on the more complicated ones, yes, we would have.
That's an issue that was talked about at the conference I went, because condos are individually owned, but a lot of times they're an apartment-type situation where there are multiple units
Right.
in one building.
Right.
So when you have pest infestations in one unit, that affects others.
Right.
It's very difficult to address them.
Yes.
So what most communities are doing now is requiring them in their condo documents.
But anyway, I just, like I say, I just wanted to,
I think the attorney should look at the condo documents. Those are very difficult for a layman to read and understand and make sure that everything is as it should be.
And it pertains to a certain case we're on right now.
Yeah.
any other opinions or disopinions?
Attorney.
Okay. Joe?
No.
Okay. I can accept, I respect that. All right, the other thing...
Do you want to vote for that?
Sure.
Motion to have the condo documents for the planning board's case at 822 Laconia Road be examined by the attorney working on the case.
Second.
Can we modify that?
Yep.
any documentation that they get for 822 Laconia Road should go to the lawyer to go into his case file.
As amended by Al.
How much is this gonna cost us?
Couple thousand. No, just
Give or take a few.
winding you up, Joe.
Do I
Joe,
really need to drag out my sign for this?
no, I was just going to say, Joe, if it makes you feel better.
It won't.
We have a copy of the conditions of approval,
Yep.
which will go with the minutes
Yep.
and the documents. So everything between those three documents would be, it would take a lot of time out of what he's looking at.
That ought to keep it under $5,000.
Does that make you happy?
I'm delighted. I'm thrilled. Call the question?
All those in favor?
All those in favor?
Yes.
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 Opposed?
I'm opposed.
Okay.
Okay, this morning I went to the final Transportation Demand Management Plan meeting, and we had an excellent meeting this morning. A lot of good things came out. The Lakes Region Planning Commission is going to take some of those additional recommendations, and they're going to put them into a format, send it to the committee members, and then once we've approved them, then the draft will be made into a regular document. So I think each and every one of you will be quite happy with the end result. And lastly, I wanted to talk about our conversation last week with the Sewer Commissioner. He made some statements that I didn't have anything in front of me to deny or, know whether it was truth or not. But anyway, I did some looking and I did some calling. And I talked to the Water District and I talked to the Public Works. And this is some of the information I came up with. First of all, the idea that this particular sewer commissioner knew nothing about the road project. He was at our meeting in July, on July 11th, when we were talking about the details, and that project was talked about at great length. There was no question, everyone was talking about it. The Water District was primarily interested in it because they wanted to get this work done. Anyway, and then the charge that the water company gets to do something and not charged for it, and that never happens with the sewer. The reason the water company was not charged was because that was a total reclamation of the site. Anyway, when Dennis looked at it as they're going to tear up the whole paving and they're going to reclaim it and then put down all the paving. So when they did the work that they wanted to do, all they had, Dennis told them just set the base, get your base in there, the gravel and whatnot around the thing, and then after we finish tearing up all the pavement, we will put down the new pavement. That way your area won't sink and it won't be an issue. And he said we do that way too because it seems stupid to have the guys pave over what they've worked on only to turn around and tear it up when it's time to do it. So anyway, I checked into it, and if you recall, when Peabody Street was done, that was a total reclamation, and they both received the same notice that they did this time. And both the sewer and the water both replaced pipes and ran new pipes along Peabody Street, and neither one were charged for the paving part of it because it was also a total reclamation. Anyway, I went into the emails. There is an email from Dennis to the sewer commissioners telling them about this work that's going to happen.
What was the date?
It was dated September 18th.
And when was the work done?
It started the 23rd and was finished October the 2nd. But he was at our July 11th meeting where it was talked about in great detail.
Except he wasn't here. That wasn't.
Here.
Let me finish. That was not the sewer commission. His point that he made to us is that the sewer commission was not notified about this project.
Well-
So a notice did not formally go to the sewer commission. He may have been here at that meeting,
Well, he knew
Or isn't
about
he the
it.
chairman?
That's not the point.
Because also on the
The
19th
policy should be is, what if he hadn't been at the meeting? The point is,
He was invited to the meeting along with
that's not the point.
Okay.
What if he hadn't been there? What if a sewer commissioner hadn't been there? We, the town of Tilton, did not notify a department within our own town that this project was taking place. We can't assume that they're going to attend meetings and find out in other ways. Yes, he was at the meeting, but our policy has to be, when we do these road projects, they should have at least 4 to 6 weeks in advance of the project, a formal notice to the department that the project is taking place.
But if you have a project coming up, and you call up the chairman of the department that the project is going to involve, in this case, it was 2 departments, and you call the chairman up and you say, we've got this project going on here, and this is the time frame that we have, and they both attend the meeting, why would he come and say he didn't know a thing about the project? That's what I can't figure out. I mean, I got a call on this as
None of
well.
that is neither here nor there. The fact is, we never formally notified the sewer department in the town of Tilton that that project was taking place.
No, we didn't, and I assured him, and I assure you that it will be done. But
Right.
he told us that he had no clue.
He did.
I don't remember that.
I remember it real distinctly. He said it real nasty
I mean,
like.
to me, it's not,
Watch the tape.
I'm more concerned about our policies and how we implement them, so that there is no doubt that they were notified. I mean, right now, there's doubt. He may, and I would have to look at the tape, because I don't,
Well, you're going to have to look at...
I don't remember
because
those
He
things.
does say on there that he knew nothing about the project. If he did, he might have done something.
but did we notify the sewer department formally?
No.
Well in advance of the project?
We invited him to the meeting that we discussed the project with
The
Dennis.
answer is no, Catherine, and that does not mean that they didn't have warning. I agree with you, we need to set up a policy.
You can't
But this is
assume.
the problem for me, when he comes in here.
He
and
was
gets
here, and we
snide with
invited
me,
him to a meeting to
That's my
discuss
issue,
the
even if it's
project.
not yours.
Okay, all right, but that wasn't a sewer commissioners meeting. He may be the chairman of the board of that sewer commission, but that only means that his responsibility to the commission is to conduct their meetings. Beyond that, there's no absolute responsibility. Okay, the chairman was here, he knew, now he has to go back with that information. There's no law that says that. But as selectmen of the town of Tilton, our responsibility to every department in town is proper notification. Then when we do that, then we don't have that. We don't have people coming in here and saying, hey, you messed up. I didn't know. That's the point.
I think part of the problem that I see is he made accusations while he was here that were unfounded and not true. And I blame all of us for the fact that we let him go on when this conversation was about one employee. We should have stopped it and had the conversation again when the employee could be here to add his side of the story. But, you know, to tell us that he doesn't, the sewer commission has to pay for things that the water company doesn't, is a total exaggeration, because the
It
only
actually
time
isn't.
this would happen would be if there's a total reclamation that they don't have to pay because we're paving anyway once the road has been torn up and redone.
When we had the municipally managed project, and that's what he referred to, in Lockmere, where the sewer was coming through, and the
Yeah.
town was paving roads, and some roads got paved because DOT was nice, and we all shared in it. The sewer commission, DOT, and the town of Tilton, as the road project, paid for paving on River Road.
Right.
So there was a joint sharing of the cost of paving the road because the sewer project was in, and that's what he was referring to. So he's not completely untrue. I mean, the fact of the matter, what we really should
But there
glean...
is some.
What we really should glean from this is we messed up.
Well, I'm not going to say
All of a sudden, we messed
I'm also
up.
going to
No, we
say
did.
that I think we all owe Dennis an apology because we didn't stop it. We didn't invite him to come and sit down so that he could face and know what was being said about him.
The public has every right to come in here and comment about us and our department heads and our, and when they start getting personal,
Yes.
then we should stop them, but that wasn't personal. That
I don't know, it
was,
seemed pretty personal to me.
I've heard some personal attacks as sitting here, and I don't think that was personal. We didn't talk about physical characteristics. We talked about jobs as employees of the town of Tilton and as selectmen of the town of Tilton. That's what the criticism was, is how we conducted ourselves as employees and selectmen.
Well,
Why didn't you say that?
I think that, sitting here, hearing what the details are now, and sitting here last week, I felt like I was being slapped across the face and then kicked in the chin with the way he was talking to us about what he didn't know or how he didn't know it. And if you look at the tape, I watched that tape again, and it made me even more angry. And talk about the way he did about Dennis not doing his job and not doing what he should be doing. And we all sat here and say, well, that won't ever happen again. Well, you know what? If in fact there's any onus and responsibility on this whole thing, is perhaps a policy, like you say, yes, but that gentleman sitting in that seat, who is the chairman of the sewer committee, also takes some responsibility in that kind of behavior with us last week, because he did in fact know about this project, and he has known about this project since July, and that's where I have a problem with it. Take some responsibility in that respect, and then we will take our responsibility and correct what we need to correct in forms of policy, how communications gets out, and do whatever we have to do. But I think what Sandy is saying, to me, I'm going to say it in a different way. The audacity of a department head to come in here and say, you're not doing this, you're not doing this, you're not doing this, you're not doing this, and then we find out that, in fact, that is not the way it happened. So, for the record, it's not the way it happened. There's two sides to every story.
Did we send the sewer department a letter, like, what, 4 days?
We were so quick last week
days
to say,
before.
oh, we're so sorry, it won't ever happen again.
Did we send a letter to the sewer department 4 days before the project saying you will pay for the lifting of a manhole cover?
This is after 3 weeks, this is after 3 months of him sitting in a
Did we send
meeting.
the sewer department an official notification?
As far as I know.
Yeah, we did.
We sent them an official notification well in advance of the project?
Wait a
No, we
minute.
did
No,
not.
No.
He heard all about it when he was here in July.
We did not officially notify anybody. That's our job. And you know what we're doing right now? Well, some of us are. You're doing exactly to that individual what you're saying we should have stopped
No,
to
what
another
I-
individual.
What I'm
So,
really
come on.
saying, what I'm really saying
Come on.
is the next time that this happens,
Come
why
on.
don't we wait till we have the whole story before we go condemning someone?
We didn't condemn anybody. What we did not notify that department well in advance of the project. We sent them a letter a few days in advance of the project saying, oh, by the way, you're going to pay for this.
Well, that's because.
Those are the
cost
things
was
we
taken
did.
out.
Those are the things we did. Should we have done that? No. Regardless of how it was delivered to us, we've heard worse.
All right.
But we shouldn't be doing, you're doing exactly what you're saying shouldn't have been done that night to that individual tonight.
I'm only.
Well, I certainly welcome Mr. Fogg back to have this conversation face to face.
Let's move on. Let's move on. This is petty stuff.
Yep.
I don't think it is.
All right. Going forward, did everyone read the information in the seller's information that he gave us?
Yep.
Yep.
Any ideas?
I think he is not really understanding the requirements or the sewer, listen to me, the Conservation Commission's role in this. They're not required to have a public hearing. When they get those documents from DES, just like we get them here, they are FYI information, and if we want to comment on them, just like the Conservation Commission, if they want to comment on them, they can. If the Board of Selectmen want to comment on them, they can. If the Planning Board wants to comment on them, they can. But we are not required to have public hearings on them.
Right.
And I can't see that the and I was at that meeting.
Yeah.
The December 20th meeting. No, when was that meeting? December 19th. I can't see where anything was done incorrectly.
Well, did you see this piece of paper that, with the little sticky note on it? This is what confuses me.
The black something.
I have a copy of that book.
Yeah.
I don't have it here.
But
have
if you say, in connection with any local investigation, the Conservation Commission may hold a public informational meeting or a public hearing, the record of which shall be made part of the record of the department. One New Hampshire municipality holds public hearings on all fill and dredge applications. Their town staff, rather than the applicant who pays for the mailing, sends abutters the notice of RSA 482A and includes note with the date the commission will discuss the application. Abutters then can attend to comment on the application. I mean, it says up here on the public hearings, the Conservation Commission are largely advisory. Its decisions usually are recommendations. The single instance in which commission is required to hold a public hearing is before using money.
Right.
So they're not using money, they're not required to hold it.
Right, that's what I got out of it.
No, it's optional.
And also, if you read the letter that they sent to the DES, they were merely asking questions, inquiring about a couple of things that they didn't have the answers to. Now, it's the DES that made the decision not to give them the permit.
Decline the permit, right.
Right.
So I don't see to where, I've watched them in action for a lot of years, and they didn't do anything this time that they don't normally do. They get these reports just like the planning board does. They review them. If they have questions, they send in their questions. Or, if they have concerns. But I don't see to where they did anything that they didn't do.
So is everybody okay with,
I don't see anything from
Joyce and I-
Mr. Sellers that we have to respond to.
well, he's asked us to respond back because he feels that the
Verbally or
the
in writing?
town,
Is there something in writing?
either one,
No,
didn't
did
really-
he respond in writing to us? Did he send us something that would indicate that there's a response?
Attention,
He gave us this package, and he said, Pat, could you please check into this? Because I feel that the Conservation Commission should have been required to have a public hearing because it's required under the RSA, and he quotes the RSA here, but that RSA here is that for public
this packet.
use.
This packet.
Yes.
Kathy Mitchell.
That's right. And he handed me this
But I
package,
don't see anything in here that's from
and he
Mr.
said,
Sellers recently.
could you check into this, because I really do not want to involve the town in my lawsuit if I have to.
It would be dismissed as frivolous.
Join
Well-
the crowd.
If that's what he said, I'd really like to have that in writing from him
If-
as a written request, not
Under
an oral.
RSA 43, which he's quoting, and he's given this to us.
Where?
Right
Where
here.
did he quote this?
Look, he circled it, highlighted it, C 43.5 fence viewers, okay? But if you look at it, it says, on petition to the selectmen for laying out or altering of highways or laying out of lands for any public use. That is not public use, it's private land.
Right.
I don't have
So
that.
this doesn't
I guess I
pertain to
do.
that.
Oh, mine's not highlighted.
No, here's mine.
This is the original.
So how do you want to respond to him?
Well,
I don't want to respond to him unless we get a request in writing.
And then we'll respond to him.
He is waiting for a response from us.
So what you're saying, he needs to write us a response saying...
I wouldn't
"I'm
respond-
requesting..."
I would not respond until I met with the Conservation Commission, which was Kathy and Chuck, which gave us this
That's not the
package.
Conservation Commission. Those are just a couple of
I
members.
understand that. I said, unless I talked with the Conservation Commission and I was able to get in touch with Kathy and Chuck, they gave me this information that they have here. Mr. Sellers gave me this information here, which doesn't pertain to a dredge and fill public hearing.
Where did you come up with this? I mean,
I would suggest we send
I
him a
think it's a
note.
misunderstanding on Mr. Sellers' part on the RSA 43, which he's basing his assumption that the Conservation Commission has to hold a public hearing.
I would suggest we send him a note saying we are in receipt of your documents. How would you like us to respond? Which would prompt him to send us a letter, with specific items, and then we probably should have a conversation with the Conservation Commission
have him come in.
before we respond on their behalf.
Have him come in. After we get the letter, of course.
Well, that's why I'm asking you all together, because I'm not doing it on my own. I don't,
Yeah,
I'm not...
I'm game.
Joyce, do you want to contact Mr. Sellers and ask,
writing.
just let him know that
He should be contacted
We're
in
in-
writing.
in writing?
He's threatened to include us in a lawsuit. I think we need a paper trail.
Documentation.
So he indicated that verbally to you about a lawsuit.
That's right.
So I think we need to document, so have him request in writing what he's asking the
Definitely.
selectmen to do.
Can you send him a note to that effect? And then he can have in writing to us specifically what he wants to look at? We've all looked at it, we've all read it, we've had conversations, I've had conversations with folks that, in the Conservation Commission, that have dealt with the situation. The only people I haven't talked with is DES. And I don't think there's any need to.
She's very familiar with the case.
I don't think we need to include
No,
DES. I think we just need to,
We know the
like I said,
history.
write a
We
note
just,
to...
we just know that we don't need to hold, the Conservation Commission does not need to hold a public hearing based on the information that he's giving us, but we need to know what he wants
Okay.
from us.
Do you want me to include what you just said, or we're just saying put in writing what it is you want to know from us?
Put
Right.
in writing what it is that you want to know from us.
Please make it simple.
Right.
I'm trying to figure out...
Okay.
Does the front of this building say First National Bank, or does it say Town of Tilton? I'm just wondering.
Yeah,
As long
I
as it
know.
doesn't say JP Morgan.
Oh, God.
Okay, one more thing. I'm going to try this. You don't have a non-public, right?
No, it can be done in public.
Okay. I think this can be done in public as well. We have a prior agreement with a resident of Tilton for taxes, and unfortunately, this person has been like clockwork every single week in the last 3 weeks, and there's been no response back to our phone calls. So I don't know what has happened.
But I can guess who that is.
Highly unusual, so. And
record?
unfortunately, it's almost finished. It's like it's within 5 weeks of the being done.
Who is it? Gold Star. If there has been absolutely no response from him to us, we probably should make sure that he has not met with some ill fate
Yeah, that's what we're
before
thinking.
we assume that it's just vicariousness.
Yeah, we know where he works.
We know where he works.
Now, why don't we make every effort beyond the norm to contact him?
Yeah, because he's been very good up till now.
Right, and he's almost finished. So do you want me to,
The
Why don't
only
we-
other thing would be to send the notice, have the, get a document that he received the notice physically, that our, if he doesn't respond, our only recourse is to go through that process again.
Right.
maybe that would serve two purposes.
You could
that
have
we
one of
could
the
check-
officers serve
Exactly.
it with a
Right.
return of notice.
And that would serve to find out if he's okay or not. I think that would,
Wait a minute, we haven't heard from this guy for 3 weeks, right?
3.
3 weeks.
but like clockwork every week.
Yeah. Item number 7 in this agreement states, and I quote, "Any," and that's in capital letters, "any missed payment to the town, the park, to any utility company shall constitute a breach of this agreement and shall immediately terminate this agreement, and all sums paid to the town, including escrowed tax funds, shall be payable to the town in full." In full. Immediately. Not that we're going to start contacting this gentleman. He'd been coming in regular, and I can understand maybe he got hit by a car and he's in the hospital. Okie dokie. But barring that, Section 7 goes into effect. I said to that guy, if you miss any of these payments, I have nothing further to do except for invoke that contract. And I meant it.
Well, shouldn't we at least make sure he's not in the hospital?
Just,
I would be okay with that.
Let's make sure he's not been hit by a bus. We're trying.
okay. And just so you know, it's gonna cost a whole lot more in town funds to do that than it is to collect what he owes.
I'm not gonna, look, we made an agreement with this guy.
In the late afternoon.
I know we
We
did.
made an agreement, and he hasn't called or showed up in 3
And
weeks.
also the reason why we
Barring
made an
sickness,
agreement.
illness, or death, he violated the terms of our
Yeah.
agreement.
Well, let's find out let's make sure that none of the 3 have befallen him before we decide to terminate.
Right.
Because then we would
It's
send
the
the
heart
notice
thing.
terminating.
Oh, you have it?
Just for a brief second.
That's right.
I'm just
Must have
thinking,
rubbed off.
It costs what it costs, but we have an agreement.
Jill's right, we should,
it's wicked bad.
All right, then.
It costs more to
This is
remove
what
it.
he did to Cindy. And I can't remember what the extenuating circumstance was.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with doing what that is, but it's, the cost of it is far greater than,
No. Well, let's find out if he's,
because I know what the trailer looks like.
well,
It's one of the ones we crossed out.
some horrible misfortune has not befallen him. So we're going to have the PD, one of the officers, hand
note.
deliver a notice to him that he currently is in default and needs to contact us ASAP. Make sure they get a return
That is the consensus, yes.
on the notice. Joe, you okay with that?
I would rather terminate the agreement and reinstitute it if we find this guy. It says that we would immediately terminate if he defaulted.
That
He
is part-
defaulted by 3 weeks.
That's the policy.
That is it's the contract. If he would like to come back in, I might, and oh my goodness, I've been in the hospital. Okay, we'll talk about that. But I could think of other people who have sat over there, we've made arrangements with,
Right.
who kept their word every single step of the way. They did what they had to do, we in turn did exactly what we said. And I think this gentleman deserves the same courtesy. We're gonna do exactly what we said. And if a new deal is warranted, then I would entertain that. That's my own personal feeling, you all do what you want. I don't even mean it like that, because that sounded snide from this end of the table.
A new deal is involving Joyce and
agree with you.
Tim and, let's see, don't know how much now
If people
they
can't
get.
take us at our word, good or bad.
I think we've taken enough properties in the past couple of years that people know that
Yeah, well, I don't
we are not
want to.
beyond
I
doing
want to
that.
find out what's happened to him first.
I do too.
Go ahead and do that.
What do you think, Sandy?
I think so too. I just, if there's nothing wrong with him and he's just, then fine.
Terminate.
Then we'll figure it out.
Should I ask him if I should do that?
Al?
Oh, no. You three made the decision, go ahead. I'm gonna have to agree with Joe. I'm done with the,
Consensus is that we will find out what, you'll send an officer out and find out what the problem is, and then if we suspect what it is, then we'll terminate.
Well, let's wait until we get there.
Right.
Go ahead, Catherine.
Would you like me to call the 99 restaurant tomorrow to see if he's still working there? Maybe they would know something.
I think it would have a greater effect if we send a policeman around with
Okay, so I
with a notice.
Yeah.
So I won't bother with that.
Might have a great impression on.
I'm not sure what the legalities are of going to the workplace.
Yeah, I mean,
I wouldn't,
I'm not sure about that.
unless you're going to arrest him for a felony, I wouldn't just casually send a cop.
All right, so we're sending
Not
the
fair to him.
officer out with the notice that he's received that he's breached the agreement.
right.
And we need it signed.
The
Return receipt, yep. Return of service, right.
Oh, I have one more question. What if tomorrow morning, I've been checking our mail slot every morning, because sometimes he would drop a check off on his way to work. What if there is a check in the mail tomorrow morning?
That makes him completely,
You better hold it, and you still better get a notice saying you need to contact us, because as Joe and Al said, he did terminate he did.
Okay.
It's been
Breached the
3
agreement.
weeks.
Okay.
3 weeks ago,
you did what you needed to do, and you did all that you could do. Even if he came in tomorrow, at this point, he has breached his contract. I just need, there's absolutely no sense to us to go after somebody if he's not there. He could be in the hospital or something. I want to make sure that if that's the case, then we go ahead with breaching the agreement, terminating it, and do whatever we have to do at the next step.
Right.
I'm
Yeah,
perfectly okay with doing that. I just need to know,
We understand.
all right? I'm more than okay doing it.
thank you.
All right, what else can we get Joe fired up on?
God bless democracy.
Okay, do we want to write DOT a letter to respond back to the speed limit and ask them to lower the speed limit from
railroad track.
railroad track to railroad track?
Yeah.
I would.
I think we need to, does anybody know how the speed decreases or progresses from the Franklin line to, let's say, the PD?
School.
Because it seems to me,
Well, the school and the intersections designate
well, the
the
school, it's only if
speed.
it's flashing.
Right.
So you got
But it
30.
seems to me, I went from a 30 to a 35 to a
Yeah.
30 to a,
It does.
it didn't seem to
When you
make
come out of
sense.
Franklin, it's 30. When you go into Tilton, it goes up, well, really, you go a little bit, and then it goes up to 35.
Out of the school zone.
And then you get down by the school zone, and if it's flashing, of course, you have to...
Yeah, it seemed to me from when I left Tractor Supply, by the time I got in front of Town Hall, I'd gone through 3 different time zones, forgetting about the school, because that's only, speed zones, I'm sorry, I am on a
I
time
thought there was
zone.
only two, the 30 and then the regular 35.
I don't know, I just, I
Goes to
had,
40 on the other side of exit 12.
I was driving, so I had, I said, Gabby, look at those speed signs.
I don't know if
But I'm just asking, because I'm not sure. It just seemed to me that it didn't make sense what I drove through. And so before we respond, if we have an anomaly, and vice versa, I don't know what it is from there to there, that we should look at and address with them, because it doesn't make sense to drop the speed only from Park Street to School Street. Because that's what the letter says we can do.
Well, we should do that nonetheless. I'd like to get it lengthened a little bit,
Yeah,
at least to the railroad tracks on the other side of Cumbies.
railroad track to railroad track, that's our downtown.
I could even go from the school to the railroad tracks, but nobody will go for that.
I just think it makes more sense for motorists
Kids on that road.
that once they leave Franklin and enter Tilton, there is a consistent speed, that it just doesn't go up and down and up and down.
Yeah,
It's kind of like,
roads are like that all over the place, kind
yes.
of.
Not when you're in such a urban area.
Well, my
Tongue
main
in cheek.
concern is the downtown. I would hate to see downtown get delayed by a fight over the bigger.
It's
good
not
of the
delayed.
road.
We have a permission to do it, so we can do it, but we're going to respond to the letter, which I think is in my other folder.
Did you do mine?
I don't think it's in here.
So wait on sending them a letter, and we just try to figure out
We're
what the
still
speed
having
limits...
Still having that conversation.
Oh, it's right here. We got it right here.
I don't know what I did with it. Oh, I just came across Brian Locke stuff.
All here. Donna had already made copies of everything. I had made copies. We don't have to be open a full hour. Okay. Maybe we can at least get set up and you can at least look at these things and then officially open at 6.
Yep.
Then we go through it.
Okay, we're still talking about this other thing, though.
And then,
Do you have the script?
yes.
Yeah, this doesn't, we're not going to lose it by having a conversation with them to make it make sense.
Thank you, Joyce.
Right. I say go ahead with doing that, and then in a month or two, we can figure out what we want to do and ask them to...
Well, they're going to put well, the only thing is they're going to put up the speed limit signs. They're going to go to that expense.
Yeah.
So before we say, yes, do it, and then we ask them to change their minds and expand it, we should, all of us should look at the speed limits between there and here
Right.
Okay.
to see what they are, where the signs are, where the speed areas are, and then send them a letter and saying, look, thank you, but, yada, yada, yada.
Drive tomorrow.
We have a huge pedestrian
Yeah.
traffic in the summer going from the island.
Yeah.
Could we please extend that to at least railroad tracks
Right.
to encompass that? Yada, yada, yada,
Well, we
something like that.
also have that traffic from the school, like Joe says,
Yep.
to Main
Yep.
Street.
That's right.
But that's year-round.
Right, but they've already given us that.
It's not in the summer necessarily.
No, but
Yeah, I agree. It's a neighborhood. 35, 40 miles an hour is not the right speed for that neighborhood.
it's like Silver Lake Road, it's too fast for that road.
Yeah.
Okay, there's one other...
Goes to 30 as soon as you cross the bridge.
They're sending out a tentative date for the CBA negotiations, which is November 6th is the tentative date. I've talked to Al about it. He's able to make it. Joyce, were you able to make the CBA, the 2 o'clock on the 6th? Did you get the note from?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So Al and I are okay with that date.
Yeah, and I said I was okay.
No, that's the police negotiation.
Oh, sorry. That was the other one. Oops.
Okay, and one other thing, at the senior center, they're looking for volunteers to help serve food, and in order to help serve food, there's a, Jane, is it 3-hour training? And in that training, there's a training class going on the 30th in the morning. Karen Hayes from Community Action is going to do that. So if anybody would like to volunteer and at least get the training under your belt and then occasionally, when we need some people to help serve food, you've already got the training. And that's on Wednesday morning.
That Serve Safe class is excellent information for household use as well, because the same sanitary situation exists in everybody's house. You know, so it's good information for anybody who wants to.
Does your cat sit on the stove while you cook too?
Actually, it sits on my shoulder.
Well, my dog does, no.
Sorry.
There's a letter, there's an interesting letter in the FYI, and I won't read it, but it really behooves everyone else. It's from the Belknap County Commissioners, and it's actually dated to the Guilford Board of Selectmen, acknowledging the Lakes Region Mutual Aid. But there's one sentence that caught my attention. It says, "We can certainly assure you that the $554,000 appropriation for LRMFA will be eliminated from our budget recommendation to the convention."
Oh, that was, I thought it was,
But it's to
oh, it's
Guilford.
to Guilford.
It's to the
Okay.
Guilford Selectmen.
Anybody see that?
That's all.
I saw it. As long as, I'm waiting to see the budget to see that it's removed, but talk is cheap, letters are cheap, 45 cents or whatever it takes to send it.
Right.
Yep.
Thank you.
We have to open, we don't have to hold the thing open for the public hearing for a long time, right?
There is one final thing I'd like to just throw out there. Front page of the Laconia Sun today, Representative Cormier, Jane Cormier, I believe is her name, is introducing a bill to do away with regional planning commissions in the state, and the state planning commission as well.
Why?
She's a small government person, reduce the tax burdens on the people, and I applaud her efforts in that direction, not at the expense of the planning commission, however, because it's voluntary. The planning commissions are a function of the legislature, but participation is voluntary. We don't have to pay the assessment, but for that money, we get access to professionals in water and garbage and sewer and environmental services, the master plan, it goes on and on. We could never afford those services
But we should,
that price.
we should immediately contact our representatives and let them know how
Well,
we
that's
feel about that.
that's what I was going to suggest, that we talk to
Yeah.
Mr. Raymond and Mr. Fields and see if we
Jane
can
Forrester.
engage them in a conversation about how we feel about the planning commission.
I think so, too.
Fact is, that I should disclose, I'm a member of the planning commission. So that said, I support their mission, and I'd be glad to answer any questions
I
that the
support their mission,
representatives
too, and I
might
think
have.
we should, as a whole, send a note to Senator Forrester and the representatives.
And Mr. Webb in Franklin as well, because this is going to affect him. Not the same planning commission, because he's in a different district, I believe, but,
Oh,
no,
we can
he's
send it
not.
to Senator Hosmer, too.
No, he's not. He's not in a different district, because the Lakes Region Planning Commission encompasses Franklin.
Right.
This is going to affect the entire state.
It will. Oh, yeah.
So we should send them to all those.
All of them.
Apparently, well, at least the story, and I can't swear to the veracity of it, stated that Ms. Cormier's been working on this endeavor ever since the Granite State Futures Program was announced. I'm a member of that committee as well, and the Lakes Region Master Plan, and maybe she doesn't understand the entire concept. I'd be glad to talk to her about it. Maybe we should invite Representative Cormier to explain herself. She might have a perfectly good reason that I haven't heard. I'm always willing to have my mind changed by the facts.
I would really welcome that one.
There you
I
go.
don't know how the board would feel, but
We have popcorn?
I'm ready for that one.
That would be something else.
I'm ready.
Do it.
I've never met her, but I'm
Let's do
ready.
it. Do it.
I would love to discuss
Do
it
it.
with Representative
Let's
Cormier.
have the others come as well. Let's do
I
it.
think
Let-
that's a great idea. Let's
Let's invite
invite the
her.
governor.
Never show up. But anyways,
So what would you like? Would you like the Belknap County delegation or just her? And of course, our reps.
I would invite them all,
Yep.
and whoever
Oh,
comes,
boy.
comes, but I think
We could
they
have a
all
big
have
party
the
and invite
opportunity to
other
weigh
boards
in.
of
We want to
selectmen.
know about this, a bill sure, we'll invite Samberton and Northfield and Belmont.
Does it have an LSR number?
Golly, I left it in the car, so I can't swear to it. She either filed it, going to file it, preparing to file it.
Yeah, it said in today's paper it was going to be filed.
You want
Can we wait till it's
You're reading
actually
all
filed so I
yours
can
now.
see what it
Yes.
says?
Yep.
And then we'll just invite everybody and...
Please.
Well, why file it if, we can nip it in the bud and she doesn't have to file it and go through the process? She can go on to something else.
Well, now is there an article that will explain more about it?
Right on the front of today's, I will bring it back in when we leave here today.
What's the consensus? You want to wait until she files it, or?
No. No.
No,
She should know how we feel before she files it.
I think everybody knows how the Board of Selectmen feel about upcoming bills that affect and impact the town of Tilton.
So here, you're going to read the public hearing information, are you? I'm going to go get that article.
Okay.
2 minutes.
The only reason is sometimes you can't just go by what's in the newspaper because there may be things in the actual language that there may be other things in there, that's all.
Right.
She's in the newspaper every day, so I'm sure you'll be able to find out.
All right, we will open the public hearing for the CDBG application, the grant. I will turn this over to
Have you met Donna Lane? Do you know?
Donna Lane. Yep, I remember. So I'll turn it over to Donna, and you can read
I
the...
am going to read to you, sorry, but we have to, okay?
Oh, you do have to
Yep.
read it?
Yep, community development block grant funds are available to municipalities through the New Hampshire Community Development Finance Authority. Up to $500,000 annually is available on a competitive basis for economic development, another $500,000 for public facility and housing projects, and in your case, $350,000 in emergency activities that directly benefit low and moderate income persons. Up to $12,000 is available for feasibility study grants. This is a proposed planning feasibility study, planning grant application to the Community Development Finance Authority for up to $12,000 in community development block grant funds. The funds will finance an engineer plan to redevelop the front parcel of land at Gaslight Manufactured Housing Park, which is currently leased retail space, into an area comprised of 10 additional lot sites, complete with cement slabs and utility setup. The area would need to be regraded and developed to best suit 10 new manufactured homes for low to moderate income households. Also, the study would reevaluate the 2009 planning study for this community improvement connecting both parks to the town sewer main. The majority of the current residences are low and moderate income households. This project conforms with Tilton's Housing and Community Development Plan's goal of encourage a varied stock of safe, sanitary, decent, and affordable housing for persons of all age and income groups. That's a short-term and long-term goal. And encourage municipal and private water and wastewater systems that are safe, sanitary, and that meet DES regulations, which is also a long-term and short-term goal.
Do we have any public comments?
We have handouts here. Let me hand out for the public.
how long do you think it will take to get the plan developed?
First, if it has to be
Once it's
awarded.
approved, right,
So
but I mean-
A couple of months to be approved, and then to do the study, it's usually about 6 months at most, usually to do the studies. We have to put a RFQ out for an engineer that can come and then get moving on board. Takes a few, we're hitting snow, it's a little problem.
Well, except it's proximity to Route 3, it's not like it's out in the backland.
But they're gonna be looking at the whole park too, and that's
For the development of the sewer?
We'll see the infrastructure, the status of everything in there. We'll see. We don't know. Probably, I would say, by next spring, it should be, summer should be fast.
Then what would be the next step?
They would decide what to do. They may apply for CDBG funds or get some other funding from other sources. Or a combination. Generally, it's a combination of...
And this is the first step to get,
This is a study to see what everything's going to cost, see if it's all feasible, and just a little study, it's not a big project.
nice park, there's nice people in the park. I spent a lot of time there this summer.
Jane?
Yes, I'm Jane Alden, I'm a resident of Tilton. I just want to say that I think that you thought about this very carefully. I feel like you want to do the right thing, that you've considered the town of Tilton, you've considered all the implications, and you've come to the right people in the town to find out what your options are. So I applaud you for your efforts, and I wish you the best of luck.
Or any other comments to, okay.
I have one. The 10 additional lot sites are for single-wide mobile homes, not double-wide. In my mind, I'm trying to picture 10 new houses and that.
I don't think it's been determined yet. I think that's one of the reasons that we need the study to show what it can, what can it accommodate.
What the possibilities are.
Once they take that house out of there and they're considering the parking lot that becomes empty when Raycor moves out, I think if they regraded it properly, I think they could get it.
And you're talking about that side as well as the other sides, or on both sides of the entry? Okay, I wondered about that. Yeah, because it's
That'd be
definitive.
nice.
It says 10 additional homes. It doesn't say approximately.
I'd love to see 10 double wides in there, but I don't know if that will happen.
That'd be nice.
Well, could be one. It'll be nice. It'll be great for the park.
Great asset, yep.
I have a question. Our first goal in the Housing Community Development Plan is to encourage a varied stock of safe, sanitary, decent, and affordable housing for persons of all age and income groups. Good enough. I was just wondering what percentage of the housing stock in town right now fits into that affordable housing label.
Lakes Region Planning, Mike.
I was just going to say...
Lakes Region Planning, Mike.
They've got all those figures.
Yeah.
You know what? Oddly enough, I might have them right here.
I mean, it's on their website, I know.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Just trying to think the
Now,
last
this
time
is
sort of
concerning health, not,
medium assessed value is. That's been a while.
Yeah.
I did that all when we were doing our Ernie's grant.
Oh,
That shows ownership of, doesn't that show?
no.
Well, that was primarily what percentage of the population met low to moderate income. But I remember I did do a sort on median housing stock.
Because it seems like we have a number of manufactured home parks, facilities, I'm not sure what you would call them, here in the town, comprising a number of units right now. We do not suffer from a lack of affordable, well, I can't say that, because I don't know,
Well, I
all
think,
right? But I totally support the wastewater improvements to that site. I mean, God knows, I live right around the corner from you guys over on Silver Lake Road. And that's a wetland drainage catchment area, and putting our refuse into the ground is not smart in the long term, you know, so I'm all for that. 10 additional homes, I don't know.
the only comment I can make about it is the fact that, yes, we do have several parks, but there is a shortage of people coming into town that want to go into parks because the parks are full. This is why it was quite nice to see that the old Sherryland Park has become Country Meadows, and they're in the process of building that back up again.
I don't know that much, and you're the planning expert here.
I don't know.
Compared to me, I know a little about it, but might not the popularity of these locations serve as a magnet to low and moderate income people who might want to move into Tilton? And I don't mean to be a jerk about this, I just asking the question.
I don't think you're going to have people in subsidized housing in a brand-new mobile home.
No.
You're going to have
No.
people of moderate income.
If they're brand new, it doesn't say anything about
You're going to
brand
have
new.
people who are out there working and supporting their families in
Right.
those
But mobile
new
home-
mobile homes.
And I think
They're new mobile homes?
setting the
New units?
There's setups for new homes to come in.
Yes, but also mobile home parks, you have a variety. Yes, you might have some parks that have some lower income people, but you also, they're very popular with retired people who want to downsize and be able to enjoy life, but still have a
I had my eye on one of those in Florida right now.
So, but I'm just saying, they do appeal, they appeal very much to a young couple just starting out that don't have a huge down payment on, a regular house. And it gives them a very fine place to live
True enough.
as a starter home. So
That's true.
it has an appeal for a lot of people.
I had one of those. I know Catherine did as well. I can't speak for everyone, but
If I could add something too, that Gaslight Village is a cooperative, which is a resident-owned cooperative. And we're finding these days that the cooperative concept is very attractive. We actually have some in the state now that have waiting lists because people want, as a cooperative, they own the land and they run the membership themselves, which is very intriguing to people to have say in, how their park rent gets spent and the type of infrastructure projects that they do to upgrade their community.
the money's not going to Jersey.
Yeah. There's
Sure.
not some owners saying, I don't care about the infrastructure, I don't live
Right.
here, what do I care? These are folks that care very much about what happens, so.
Right.
If you drive through Gaslight Village, you're going to see some very neat, well-kept homes,
I have.
manicured lawn.
I have.
And it's really nice. I thought this would be a place for me to retire.
We're setting that up for you, Catherine, that's what we're doing, brand new.
I like the one in the back, on the left.
In the woods.
Yeah, in the woods.
Any more comments?
In fact, there's a vacant lot there.
So first, we need to vote to adopt the updated Housing and Community Development Plan. So Board, that's on,
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, go
We're
ahead.
actually going to have to go through
2 more hearings.
2 more hearings and then do the motion.
and then we do it.
All right, so if you want to close that one and open the next one. That'd be great.
Don't we,
Do
aren't we
2 in one.
subject,
We have to do them, yep. They're-
aren't we subject to notice? There's notices that have to be given for public
So I will
hearings.
close the first public hearing.
So when's the next public hearing?
right now.
And that was what the notice said?
Yep. 3 consecutive public hearings.
So I'm opening another one now.
So we're closed and open. Can I go on?
Look at your agenda.
So I'll
Yeah, I
open the...
saw the agenda, but when you said consecutive, I thought that meant on 3 consecutive weeks.
Okay, I will open the
Certainly not.
second public hearing.
Great. So, and this sounds repetitive, and it is. So we're going to talk about the Housing and Community Development Plan. No changes have been made to the plan since it was last adopted in 2008. We have to re-adopt it every 3 years is the requirement. So, and we have to be addressing a goal in the Housing and Community Development Plan when we ask for CDBG funds. And again, the goal that we're talking about, we actually have 2, is encourage a varied stock of safe, sanitary, decent, and affordable housing for persons of all ages and income groups, and encourage municipal and private wastewater and water systems that are safe, sanitary, and meet DES regulations, which is also a short-term and long-term goal. So again, we are not changing the plan that you adopted last in 2008. We're just re-adopting it because it's been a few years.
You said in their packets, they have copies of these.
Yep, it's right.
Yes, we do.
I also have copies available for the public if they need them.
The public head.
I was gonna
Does
say.
the selectmen have any questions or comments? on
No.
the housing committee?
And through this.
Public?
And I'll close the public hearing, second public hearing. And we will open the third public hearing on the CDBG grant.
And so the third one is the Residential Anti-Displacement and Relocation Assistance Plan. Again, you have to adopt this every time you ask for CDBG funds. This is kind of a funny time because we're doing a study. We're not doing anything by this project. All we're doing is paperwork. It's a study. But it has to be adopted. It's project-specific. It has to be adopted every time you ask for CDBG funds. So you've adopted this plan in the past. It's the same plan. And the plan describes the measures that would need to be followed if a business or a household were displaced by this project. Bless you. Again, this is a study, it's not going to do that. So this is only a study. This project does not involve any displacement or relocation of persons or businesses. If the town were to undertake a CDBG project which involved displacement or relocation, then they would follow the plan. It's basically the uniform relocation plan. The plan outlines the measures that would need to be taken if this were occurring to find comparable suitable housing for persons or businesses displaced or relocated. We aren't displacing, all we're doing is a study, but we have to adopt the plan. Selectmen have any questions or comments on the anti-displacement relocation assistance? Public?
Will we go through the same process when we go to the next phase if
The only thing,
the funds, when we go to approve the funds?
or any project you were going to go through, the Housing and Community Development Plan has to be every 3 years, so if we did something in a year or two, we probably wouldn't talk about that again.
No, I mean the continuation of this project. So we're going through the engineering phase,
Again.
and then when we go to the next phase, will we readdress this?
Yeah, we have to do it again, we have to have
Okay.
another public hearing and go through it, and that would be a little bit different, because that would be an actual project, not just a study. We need to discuss things a little bit different.
Yeah.
Got it.
Right now, we're just doing a study.
All right. Any comment? We'll close the third public hearing. So, I will make a motion to adopt the updated Housing and Community Development Plan.
Okay.
Was that all 3 hearings?
Yep.
Has everybody read the Housing and Community Development Plan?
Yes.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor of the motion? Aye.
I abstain.
Sign this one, or you got one?
This one you can all
I
sign.
abstain.
Okay. One abstention. I will make a motion at this time to adopt the Residential Anti-Displacement and Relocation Assistance Plan.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain?
Abstain.
On this one, Pat, you sign in the signature line, and then the other selectmen sign below. So if you sign below, that we sign.
Okay, at this time, I would like to make a motion to approve the submittal of the application and vote to authorize the Chairman, Board of Selectmen, I shouldn't make this motion.
Keep doing it, you're already making it.
I can't vote to authorize the chairman, I am the chairman.
Why, there's not enough signatures?
No, this is the third part of it, to allow me to vote for
All
the...
right. I make a motion to approve the submittal and application and vote to authorize the chairman, Board of Selectmen, to sign and submit the application. Upon approval of the CDBG application, authorize the chairman, Board of Selectmen,
Actually, that I'll sign.
to execute any documents which may
No,
be necessary
no.
to effectuate the CDBG contract.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded, is there any discussion? All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Abstain.
Abstain.
Okay.
Joe abstains, in case you didn't hear that.
This is
You're
why I'm
signing the
abstaining.
Housing and Community Development Plan, you're signing the Anti-Displacement Relocation Plan. We have a form here which is signing the application saying that as far as we know, everything that we say is true in it, and that you don't discriminate against affordable housing.
I'm
and
uncomfortable
this
with
is in
that part.
conformance with
That's a
whatever
selectmen's public hearing.
municipal plan and
It's a
ordinances you
selectmen's
have.
public hearing.
This one here says that none of you have any
Those
financial interest in the park.
Applicable to
correct?
everybody.
Oh, listen up.
Guys, nobody has any financial interest in the park, right? None of you guys?
Not yet.
Okay, not yet. Wait a couple
Oh, wait a few years.
things. And then this one is an
Except for roofs that we
environmental
can-
review, and this project is, again, just a study. We're not doing anything. We're not putting a shovel, so this is an exempt form. We would normally do this after the fact, after we were awarded, but we're just saving ourselves some time and doing it ahead these days. So that just says that this is exempt from the National Environmental Protection Agency studies, because it's just a study, we're not doing anything, so,
Right.
and so that gets signed. So that's what all these things are. Just so you know what I'm making you sign.
And the rest of the selectmen, you're welcome to sign, just sign below. And what she's notarizing is just that signature.
Do you want to sign it, everybody?
No, if we just...
Those are the other two.
Sign it.
I know,
You just said you could sign it.
okay.
Well, we know y'all like to, so we don't, that's great, but we just have to have passion.
We've learned that, but
Yeah.
we can't get the Federal Housing and Urban Development Department to change their form.
Yeah, they won't.
They won't.
We tried last time and they said no. So we just have to work around that, squeeze a few names in. And then if you finish, I will, oh, should I give them to Catherine or you?
I think they're all.
That's all, thank you. And it's all
welcome.
electronic. And Joyce will get a copy of the whole thing, but it's all on, everything's electronic, we don't do paper anymore. Go green, yay.
Well, thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
So we
Now, look,
are,
we got you out in time for the game, everything's good.
oh yeah,
Especially you.
especially if they win, you know what I mean?
Yep.
They're gonna
That's
win.
even
Was
better.
that an if?
Awesome game.
That was awesome.
Was that an if?
That was a good game last night. I loved it.
Baseball stuff?
I thought that was,
Huh?
I like
A
it.
World Series. Red Sox are in it.
Well, baseball stuff. I thought football stuff was doing it. What happened to Harley Davidson? You're slipping. You're slipping.
Have a pleasant
Thank you.
evening.
Good night.
Good
All
luck.
right,
Oh, yeah. This guy, and he's probably wearing Bruins underwear. Celtic socks.
These are hearings required by CDBG grant. These are not hearings conducted for our purposes.
The whole noticing 3 consecutive public hearings, I'm comfortable with.
there are 3 parts to it, Joe, it's not,
It's not 3 hearings.
It's not 3
parts.
For the same thing.
right, it's the same thing with 3 parts. One has to be the housing, one has to be the relocation, and then the other one is the actual what the hearing is about. So there's 3 parts to the hearing, which signifies
I didn't
3...
vote no because I'm not opposed to it,
Right,
but I'm uncomfortable with, after
Right.
reading 43, 1,
You,
and right on through,
when you abstain your vote, it is typically understood that once the vote is finished, that you fall with the majority.
I do follow with the majority.
But if you decide you don't want to take any part in the vote, then you just announce that you are not taking part in this vote.
But I
That
would
way,
vote no.
If it votes no or yes, it doesn't matter. You're not taking part.
You're not taking
So
part
now
in it.
you are not chosen to be with, it's like
Right.
when you voted no earlier with your favorite topic of, sending things out to your favorite people,
Oh, of course.
instead of abstaining. I know you voted no, but if you had abstained, you actually would have been agreeing with
Yep.
the majority.
I know, I understand that.
So-
And I understand that in this case. I'm just uncomfortable with the whole 3 hearings in a row. And I also didn't know that all the budding landowners had been properly noticed. And I should have asked them that question, but not knowing, I just passed. I punted.
Yeah, I do that often, but sometimes I choose not to vote at all, because
Want to go to the...
I'm not agreeing with anything.
Well, I'll let you know. I'll let you know when that happens.
it is tonight?
Yeah, it's 6:30.
It is at 6:30?
I'm
What
all
do you
about
have
the
to...
wastewater.
What's
Give
Just a
us.
couple things. I need the board to vote to accept this donation for from the Tilton School.
Make a motion, we accept the donation of $2,600 to the Town of Tilton Police Department from the Tilton School.
What's for?
For what purpose?
It's for the SOU dues, I'm sure.
I'll
Doesn't
second
say
that.
it, though.
I thought they had disbanded.
No,
No.
Oh, nice.
Special Ops dues, that's what it's for.
Yeah.
Central New Hampshire.
Good.
Thank you, Tilton School.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Tilton School.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
So you already took care of the senior center update, and we're good for 2 o'clock on Wednesday, November 6th?
What's happening at 2 o'clock on Wednesday, November 6th?
Negotiations start.
Oh,
Okay. And
For the
on
police
Tuesday afternoon, I had suggested 2 o'clock. Scott DeRoche has penciled in that whole afternoon between 1 and 4, so I said 2, because that will allow us to cover lunches for everybody. And
where will the negotiations take place?
where will this meeting take place?
Probably the PD.
Usually takes place in the PD.
Shouldn't it be in a neutral location?
No, I think they've all been at the PD. The last 2 have been at the PD.
When was the first one? What was the first one?
This is just the organizational, and then Peter can
I take it's a conflict.
come talk with the board later.
Why, are you a cop?
No, but my nephew is.
All right, so is 2 o'clock on
He's a
Tuesday,
negotiator.
2 PM on Tuesday?
2 PM on Tuesday? This is
That help?
to go over the new rates.
2 PM on Tuesday, the 5th,
Yep.
to go over the health rates.
Whoever can
Nobody's
attend.
writing over there, so
Oh, I thought we were still in the negotiating stuff. What is the next
So
one?
did I. What's
Tuesday
the,
the 5th, 2 PM. They're coming to go over the new health rates for us, with us.
When is the retirement party for Kim Coulee?
the 25th of November. Monday before Thanksgiving.
Who all wants to go to that?
Kim Coulee? I'm going.
You're going, did you respond already, or do you want me
I
to
think
respond?
Catherine, did you respond first?
I was waiting to get a definite,
Oh,
because there were some iffy, so
I'll go.
I'm going to go. I'll respond tomorrow.
I will definitely go.
yeah, I'm going,
You're going, Joe, Catherine, Pat, Sandy? Okay, Al, no? Because no, okay. I will respond.
Okay, I got distracted when we were talking about the traffic speeds on Route 3 and 11, and the last thing I remember hearing was, what was the speed limit progression from Franklin to, and could you just fill me in on what the board decided? So,
Look at the progression of the speed limit and then talk about it later.
okay.
Before we
later
have them
tonight,
go
or-
install signs and say, oh, by the way,
Okay. So, do you want me to relay this information to the chief so he can get that for us?
I think we all should look.
Okay.
Because it, depending on where the progression is or isn't, makes a difference, don't you think?
Okay. And then we still need to draft a response for the Silver Lake Road safety audit. We still need to do that, and also, when did you want to talk about a response to the DOT commissioner on our meeting a week ago?
I thought it was they were going to respond to us.
No, they're waiting to hear from us.
They're waiting to hear from us on a couple of different things, right? And then we're waiting to hear from them on the 2080.
Yeah, because they went into a conference
can't make-
after we left.
We can't make a decision on that, on our end, until we know if they're going to
the
relax.
deal?
that was the
Right.
impression I got.
Right.
They were going to talk about an 80-20.
Right, but they wanted us to prioritize what it was we were asking.
Right.
And then they're going to look at their money.
We definitely want Caleb Field.
Caleb, I think that we were
We went all
clear.
4 done, but the biggest issue
Right, but
here,
is there any
Know if it's
particular...
a 1 year, 2 year, 3
we
year.
already told them it wasn't.
Right, but he wants us to...
He wants it in writing?
Mhm.
No.
Just like we want things in writing.
So,
So what is the consensus of the full board?
would like
Because the full board
When
wasn't
is-
present.
Well, District 3 is going forward with their work on Caleb regardless of
In the
this.
spring.
That was understood, correct? I'd say Caleb, Clark, Colby, Winter.
yep,
Makes sense.
I would too. Kaylee, yep.
Seeing as, now, is sidewalks part of this process? Because if it is, I think that winter maybe should be moved up because of the number of children who walk up and down that road every day.
You're right.
Califf needs to be number one, there's no doubt about it. Colby's been shimmed, Clark needs serious work, but there's a lot of pedestrian traffic that are young children on Winter Street.
Why, are the sidewalks in terrible shape?
Oh,
Yeah.
wicked.
I don't know, I don't
The
walk it.
sidewalks, the road, the ditching.
Ooh, especially at Bob Hardy's.
So Califf, Winter, Clark, Colby.
And then Winter Street, the sidewalk only goes up so far, and then it's people's yards. So it only goes up to Mountain View Drive, and from then on, it's
It's just yards.
So the kids are in the road.
Well, you're gonna be hard pressed to get them to extend those sidewalks, because look what happened in Lockmere.
Yeah.
They wouldn't go forward with just a little 50-foot swath.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'd go along with that. Califf, Winter,
Yep.
Clark, Colby.
No, I would too. I think it's more important to have the road in good shape where the kids are walking all the time. And, you figure as long as the middle school's there, and even some of the high schools walk over and then come up. So you get a lot of kids in the morning and in the afternoon.
Right?
And
It's a mess too.
And I know there was discussion, it seemed like they were willing to entertain not taking, I think we want to emphasize how Winter Street services, Winter and Clark service a state facility.
Absolutely.
And that, definitely that should not be assumed by the town for maintenance. That shouldn't, the town not willing to assume maintenance for that should in no way impact that project being done, because the town we're still going to ask the voters if they want to participate in the project.
But the only road not affected by that is Califf, because if you're coming from the north to get to the state facility, it's Colby. If you're coming from the east, the only way to get there is Winter Street or Clark.
Yeah.
So all of those streets land you on that facility. Califf is an intersection in between the two towns, but you can get to that facility primarily by Colby, Clark, and Winter.
I was...
Especially considering the condition of Caleb Hill.
Right.
Why would you go on
We
Caleb
don't
Hill
want
if
to
you
be
can use Colby?
penalized
Right.
because we're trying to make a deal with them because of the state facility.
Right.
And that either, we don't take one or two of the roads as a town road, or as the commissioner suggested, we look at a different ratio.
Was it either or?
Yeah, he didn't commit either way.
He didn't commit.
Yeah, he didn't.
No, he
I
didn't.
think he's waiting to see what
we want.
What would the town feel comfortable proposing?
But we shouldn't be thrown back in the queue just because
Right.
we've got a state facility stuck
Oh, I
right in the
agree.
middle of these roads.
Well, I'm so surprised because I've lived on that road now 33 years. And when we first moved up here, the state was very good at keeping that road up because, the ambulances go back and forth all the time. And they used to go pretty fast. Now they can't because, the people that they're taking would be on the roof of the ambulance. But it just amazed me that for years, they did a very good job of keeping the roads up around the Veterans Home and, of course, into Franklin because of the hospital. But then all of a sudden, I'd say, about 15 years ago?
That's when they
where
lacked funding.
They just, and that was it?
That's when they tapped into the highway tax.
Yeah.
15 years ago?
And then the other thing is, you had mentioned, what about the other state roads that we had? Did you want to mention those at this time, that this is how you as selectmen would prioritize? I'm not talking about state aid grants, the state taking care of the roads, how you'd prioritize Brook,
Because we're
River.
not taking over School Street.
Oh, we wouldn't, that's a
Well, the
numbered
road
route.
committee had a conversation about it
School
when they
Street's a
last
numbered
met. And the only other class through state aid roads, if that's what you're talking about, are Lancaster and Grange.
And they're done.
But what about Church and Brook?
Church, Brook, and River.
Yep.
Silver Lake is done, it's still a
Yeah.
Class 2 state aid road. So probably the next group that should be done would be the Lockmere, Brook, River, and Church, especially because Brook is in such horrible
I thought
shape.
Church was just done.
Church was only top-coated,
Oh, okay.
and so wasn't River, a section of it.
And they've got vicious sidewalk issues over there
Yeah.
on River.
And then Lancaster and
It's a little
Grange
better
would
on
be the
Church,
last
but
one.
River is really
Because
bad.
by the time we
A hazard
mitigate
to walk on.
the Veterans Home Group and get that in the queue, and then we do the Lockmere Village ones, Lancaster, because that was just top-coated, that wasn't, rebuilt or anything, drainage wasn't addressed on any of those. That's going to be falling apart, it already is if you drive over
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it's a shame.
You can't just put a Band-Aid on top of a mess.
The other one with Colby, though, I thought that it was originally just the portion of the intersection where the problems were.
Oh, gosh, no.
Not
Colby
the-
is a
not
Class
the
2
entire
state aid
road.
If we're going to do this project.
So that's what I wanted to have clear. So it
We
would be
should
the
do
entire
whole
road.
Or
Okay.
not do it at all, and it stays a Class 2 state aid road, and it stays in horrible shape and continues to deteriorate because they're not going to do
Right.
what they can't do.
Good road's good, and the legislature won't do the gas tax.
So we should get it into
No
our
funding.
10-year plan.
Have we heard a reason why they wouldn't support the gas tax?
Our senator voted to table indefinitely. I think I forwarded this to you guys.
Because they wanted to see more money going to the communities, but that's ridiculous.
Well, her thing was, apparently, according to the language, I haven't spoken to her to ask her follow-up questions, but the towns didn't get the money. Now, I sat in a meeting with the commissioner of the DOT who said something about $178,000. What could you do with $178,000? And so he seems to think that it would have sent money to the towns to help repair these roads. Our senator says, no, it didn't. The truth probably lies somewhere in there, but
Go online and
It would have over a 5-year period. That's what
Those
the bill
monies, if they
said.
went into the Highway Trust Fund,
Yeah.
would not come to the local municipalities,
Right.
because the fund was not set up for the local municipalities. It was set up for New Hampshire Department of Transportation. The problem was that the legislature thought, oh, boy, a little slush fund. And anything that is vaguely associated with state roads, such as judges that sit in judgment of people who speed, or the money gets diverted, gets diverted to the state police. I used to have an accounting of that. It's 10 years old now, but it's
Okay.
very interesting to see how they reached this whole road thing. And I'm sorry, I think it's illegal. The
and
uses that they're
don't
using
fund
it.
that, and don't fund it to the point where we can take care of our roads and bridges, hence we've got our road and bridge problem today, with no relief in sight.
If they're going to implement or increase the highway tax, I'd rather see them create another fund that truly is dedicated to roads that people in the future can't tap into for anything that's vaguely associated with road repair.
Right.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Well, that's right.
Roads and bridges.
You
I
know.
thought
If it's
that's,
man-made, that will
I thought there was, that was language in the law.
And then they read
they
the law so broadly that they're funding courts and state police scanners and whatever it is they fund out of that. It's not just that. Apparently, all the toll money from Hooksett goes into maintaining the highway and
Federal.
putting a new toll booth in Hooksett so they can collect more money to build a new toll booth in Hooksett ad infinitum.
And a restaurant.
And a restaurant. Well, no, that's private money.
I know.
That's private money.
That
all
that is not all
private money.
private
State
money.
money,
I'll
the
double
state
space it.
money,
Send it to the board.
reaps money, millions of
Mark it
dollars
up,
from that
'cause I
over
would
the
like
course
to,
of the lease.
The
What are they
state
doing with
is,
that?
And I
state's
just have
putting in millions of
one other
dollars
thing, Pat.
for this project.
Just
I
one
found
more.
out.
Is that right? I'm not
We're
privy
gonna
to
get
that
you
information.
Okay.
Joyce to the concert tonight.
All right, I need some board decisions. The first is on Monday, the 28th at 10 o'clock.
Monday, what? October or November?
October 28th for 16 Prospect Street.
I won't be here.
Remember, we received a list of items, and that's the time that the individual would like to do that. At 10 a.m., if that isn't convenient.
We have somebody wanting to go into this property and remove more items.
This is from...
We talked about this.
Yeah.
This is we said we would set one day apart. This is the day. This hasn't happened yet. This
And
is the
everybody
one day.
received a copy of the list of items.
Well, you have a standing decision that no one will remove anything from that property.
Why, that's why I'm asking the board to take a vote to allow this to, and I think I have the list here.
I believe we voted.
Already voted.
We voted already.
It's non-public.
Right, we voted already to allow one day supervised by Joyce and a specific day with the list of things that would, and that was it. Otherwise, we're paying to get rid of all this stuff.
And I was going to request if a selectman can't be present, if I could have someone from the highway department. Bear with me. And do you want to put a time?
I have an 8:30 appointment.
Do you want to set a time limit on it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and she's trying to get in touch with her sister to help.
One day doesn't stretch to 2 or 3, or I gotta come
Already
back on
has.
Tuesday.
I will change the meeting time on the 28th at 9. I'll be there.
Okay.
I just have a doctor's appointment at 8:30 for a half hour.
Yeah, I know it's short notice, but I know that I just, as soon as possible, just to get this part done. Just get it done.
I would like to say that everything in that house belongs to the town of Tilton by the agreement that we have signed.
Not yet.
This person. And why
With the
haven't
agreement.
we paid the rest of that money?
That's
haven't-
because I can't do anything without, I've got some other things to bring before the board on this, is to tally what has been paid. 2 payments have been made, and according to that section of the agreement, item number 10, to go ahead and do that.
So you're telling me that
We haven't issued it,
belong to the town of Tilton?
no? Read number 10.
It says, any personal property remaining on the property after they vacate the property and receives the full payment due to her shall be deemed abandoned, and they shall have no
And why
claim
haven't
to
we
it.
made the full payment to her?
Because I haven't brought it to the board. I mean, I need your
Oh, well,
permission
bring
to
it.
do it.
Bring it.
This agreement that we
I'm
signed
sorry
says
that
we'll
it
do
wasn't,
it.
I assumed this was done.
Yeah, me too.
Why are we holding it?
I
We
don't
shouldn't
know.
be holding
Well, I'm sorry, I mean, I've been gone for
Okay,
over a
all
week.
right, well, let's
Fair.
move forward.
Okay, so I'm authorized to make that payment, and we can
That
have that
agreement
Monday,
is signed by us.
afternoon.
It says payer.
get it ready, and Monday
If we
afternoon.
can do it by consensus, fine, otherwise I'll make a
How
motion.
much are we talking
I'll
about?
second it.
883 and 500, and then the amount was 15.
So it's like a couple $100.
The motion on the table has been seconded.
I understand that, I'm in a
He's in
discussion.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm asking the figures. Jeez.
He's waiting for the game.
No,
Oh,
what does it start, 8? 8 o'clock?
okay.
so
So,
we're at 8 o'clock instead of 10?
No,
The game.
he said something about the game.
I
said,
did.
What time does it start?
Oh.
8 o'clock.
This is like a dead zone down here. It doesn't travel. Must be the thermos, it's getting blocked.
I will go ahead and do a check request, have Tim process that, get it signed, have a manifest ready for the board to sign. If you can come in, he's not here Friday, but Monday, come in and sign the manifest, and then at 3:30, 4 o'clock, we could even get Joanna to come in earlier if she's around to sign it, the check, and then we'll have that.
give it to her.
And we'll give it to her.
Give it to you,
and then that makes that final.
And that makes that final.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
The next thing is...
Motion has been made and seconded. Is any more discussion? All those in favor of the motion?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, I'll let you know as soon as the manifest is ready to be signed. The next item is...
I'll sign it.
is that there is no fuel oil, and it's starting to get cold. I'd like to get your permission to contact, there are 2 plumbers that we have used that I've got certificates of insurance and W-9s on file to have them go in and winterize it. I have no idea how much that will cost, but I think we need to winterize
Well,
it.
Is what it is, add it to
We're
the
going
sale price.
to drain the system, or are we going to heat the house?
We have to heat the house. We have to heat the house.
I talked with Dennis about that, because I had the same question. He suggested draining it.
Really?
I don't know. You can't, is that steam or hot water?
Steam, I think.
Don't know.
You can't drain a steam system.
I can't see
I know
why
it's
you couldn't. You
oil-fired.
could blow out the lines.
I'm trying to think if I've seen, I could look in my...
You cannot drain a steam system. I know I have one. The steam, there is always water sitting in the bottom of those radiators.
They will freeze.
They will freeze.
Yeah.
Do you remember seeing radiators?
Yes.
Can't they put,
Cast,
There are
can't they
radiators?
put,
cast iron, but the question
can't
is
they put
think it's
antifreeze
steam.
in those the way they do in like manufactured homes?
Well,
not without
no.
turning on the furnace.
Right.
So we have to heat the house?
I would rather heat the house.
You
I don't think it's
have
good
to
that-
Make it 80 degrees in
Yeah,
there,
you
but
can put it
gotta
at
keep
50.
warm enough so that you don't...
We're not talking about huge amounts of heat, tropical Saturdays and stuff.
Right.
60 degrees,
Oh, I don't even think you have to make...
50, something so it
Somewhere
doesn't,
between 50 and 55.
Yeah.
Okay.
something so it doesn't freeze.
But we'd have to have somebody look at the furnace.
Yes.
I mean, who knows when the last time that furnace was cleaned, looked at, checked?
Okay.
That wouldn't be a bad idea, because if we're
Goes
going to
on-
sell it, then
goes
we'd
on
have
the
some
same
kind of
price.
certification as to what condition the furnace was in.
All right.
Do we want to
Want it
spend that
be
money to do
less
that?
than it is
I
now.
don't see where we have a choice.
We're coming into winter. If you don't do anything, I can tell you right now, if that's a steam system, those radiators will freeze.
Yeah.
And you don't want cast iron.
But if you're ready to auction off a house, and if it's an as-is condition, and they're gonna, if it's an old furnace, they replace the furnace, why would we want to get certification for,
And do you know if it's an old furnace?
I know
well,
nothing.
we were down there, but
Well, when we
Is there
were
a
down
tag,
though-
is there a tag on it?
I didn't go look at the tag.
Well, we were down in the basement, and I thought Greg said, oh, there's the new furnace, there's the old one over there, so...
New might be a relative term.
I'm not saying brand new, I'm just saying it was newer than the old monster.
It is a relative
over
term.
So clearly, we have time to decide
Yes,
this.
yes.
So clearly, if we could get
Well, that was,
someone over there.
well, that's going to be my next thing. I spoke to 2 individuals, because one just called back this afternoon. I've left him voicemail messages, that they are interested in going in, looking in the building, and they could give me an estimate of what it would cost to just do a quick inspection. Remember, we had talked about having a
Yeah,
building,
the house inspection.
a house inspection, and then as soon as,
You went to Beach Street? Oh, we didn't.
no, it was just a camp.
We're
No,
selling
it
it
was a
as is. Why do we want a house inspection?
Well, because remember, were you there the day when Greg went through? He had suggested having a building inspector go through, because it will help us get a better price, just to, not a
We'll help you
detailed
get a better price.
inspection, but just to make sure that it's structurally sound. I mean, we know things that have to be done, but that it's structurally sound.
They say, well, I'm not going to...
So that was information that came out of a site walk over there and not information that was given to the Board of Selectmen?
I'm giving it to you now.
Okay.
I'm
in
giving you the
pieces.
I'm giving the board,
In pieces,
the
okay.
full board.
So now we're hearing that our auctioneer has suggested
We asked him,
a building
if there were inspections, and we had discussed some names, and the gentleman that I met with today on the, he's the one of the approved general contractors for the New Hampshire Veterans Home. That's how we got the referral, was from
I
a
didn't
member
even
of the
see that
Budget
in the
Committee.
minutes.
And he said as a general contractor, he's more than qualified to go in and do an inspection. But before they could even give me an idea how much this would cost, based upon what we're asking, they need to just go in and just look and say, oh, yeah, I could get through this in X number of hours or whatever.
Do we want a house inspection, or do we want a general contractor to go in there and say, you know what, it's gonna really, this is the range in which you're looking at for this to be a livable, wonderful, gorgeous
No.
house?
What does that have to do with us? We're selling a property as is.
Oh, I'm asking
as
that
shown.
question. Joe, I'm just asking the question.
And I'm asking a
Because-
question too. What does it
Because
have to do with
that's
us?
what I'm hearing
Because
from
this
you. I'd
person-
rather, when Greg had
I don't want to spend any more money on it.
explained to us that it would be to our advantage for a house inspection, he was talking about a house inspector that would go in and look at the sills, the walls, the cellar, the pipes, and know exactly what and you'd get a printout of what is there, what needs to be, and, you know,
What do we care?
Well, the cost to cure.
Right, because if you had somebody buying the house and they said, well, that's a tear down, oh, no, we had the house inspected, all the sills are intact, all this is intact, we have this house inspection, and that's going to go a long way. It's further than, it's going to get more money than what we...
How much is a house inspection?
I can't get you a price yet until you give me permission to let these gentlemen go in and at least just look around and say, okay, yep, it's 4 stories, it's X number of rooms, yeah, for me to go through.
But I can't
and
see
give
a
this-
general contractor doing that, Joyce. A house,
No.
there's a difference between
A building inspector.
a building inspector. When we purchased our home a year ago, we had a house inspector come in, which then told us what we needed to do in order to do it. It cost us $250.
Right,
And I did the same
right.
on mine, and it was
I
a
know
general
to get a
contractor.
license, but
And
I
he
mean,
told me in
official report.
Too
Mine
much
wasn't a
detail.
general contractor, mine was a house inspector. That
what needed to be done.
what needed to be, and it went a long way to the bank. I mean, it really improved
Beams in the attic.
the value because we were able to do some of the work, and it really was a valuable piece of information that they gave us.
Yeah.
A general contractor is going to look at what can be done, what can't be done, whereas an inspector is going to go in and
So it's got good bones.
Yeah,
he's going to he's going to look at everything.
well, it's like with the one
And for
that-
$200 to $300,
So how do we
it's-
contact a realtor to get some names for people to do those types of inspections? Because that's typically where you end up with that type of inspection, is when there is a sale. before
All right,
it's-
Banks
So-
make you do it.
Yeah, so if I get 3 names, do I have permission to schedule to have the 3 people go in and look on it so they can give me a quote?
As long as it doesn't cost us anything.
I think
shouldn't
that
to
we
go in
should
and-
just get, do we need 3
Yes,
to go in and,
yes. It's our own policy.
Oh,
wait a minute.
please.
Hold on a minute. I'm hearing 2 different things here, and I want it clarified. You just said, do I have permission to go in with the 3 people and get quotes, or go in and get the inspection?
Oh, no, to go in and tell me what's it going to cost for me
No.
to do an inspection, and what would the inspection entail? Give me something in writing on what you would do for us and how much.
Well, usually a home inspector just shows up, inspects, and leaves for a certain, this is a set price.
Right,
Yeah, and it's
They
usually.
don't go and give you an estimate of what's
They
going to
tell
cost you
you
to
on
do
the
it.
phone
usually
before they
between
get there.
$300 and
Yeah.
$700.
That's
A
my
house is a house.
experience.
All right.
but I don't know
so
how-
do I have your permission to get, so you don't want them to,
They come in, you call them on the phone and say, how much is it to inspect the house?
Okay.
And then you
Okay,
call
I'll just-
3 of them, and then
okay.
you pick one,
Oh,
and they come
I'm
over
fine
and
with
do the
that.
house.
If it's over $500, you need 3.
Yeah,
If it's 10 to 5, just pick one.
Just pick one.
Throw one in
Okay.
there.
all right. And so tell me exactly what you want from this, what do you expect that you're going to get from this house
a
inspection.
bill.
Yeah.
In addition to the bill.
I had.
Well, other than that, I'm getting nothing, so.
And they go in and they look at your electrical, they look at your cells, around the house.
They're gonna give you a report.
And they look
You want
at
a
your
written
meter.
report? Okay.
Yes, I mean, all these things are looked at.
Yeah.
You know, even with my son, when we had his house done, he even did a testing. He was looking at the well and, you know, the apparatus in the basement, and he tested and sent a sample off, and they found out that they had this high level of arsenic in their water. Now, you know, this
One
was
out of
all
5
part
homes.
in this house
if not more.
Okay,
inspection.
so we all have the same
Yeah.
understanding. Okay,
But they're-
good.
but
So
they're
I
not
don't want
gonna
to
go in
spend
there
any
and
more time in there than I
beautify
have
or
to.
improve it.
No.
They're going in there and telling us just the mechanics.
Right, to tell you whether the
They're good or bad.
plumbing
Well,
works.
they probably also could give us information on the heating system.
Well, if you go downstairs and you look at the furnace, you're going to find tags, because somewhere along the line,
Okay, do you want me to go down in the cellar and the furnace and get this
No.
information for the board?
I said
No.
you generally. I didn't mean anybody in particular.
Okay, so who,
House
who,
inspector will do that.
okay, that's what I
Yeah,
asked. So the
that'll be
house
part-
inspector
they'll
can
check
go
on
in.
it.
Inspector
Okay.
is
I want
gonna
them
look
to
at the
go and give
furnace,
me
but
all
he's
the
not gonna
information
look-
on the furnace.
Oh, my God.
Okay, good,
We can do
They'll
that.
tell you how new the furnace is.
Oh, yeah, they did that.
okay.
We need to know who last inspected that furnace.
Yeah.
That's what you need to do. You need to find a tag down there. It's going to tell you who inspected it, because we're going to want to have a conversation with that person
I will.
Right.
about the furnace.
I'll go down on Monday and do it, and we'll look at the tags, not a problem.
All the tags are hanging right on.
Right, we know
They'll be
where it
right
is.
near that furnace.
Yeah.
Where it is.
Okay, and then the next thing, I have 3 names of people to do the clean-out. And the one that said that they would do it for free, when I kept asking, well, where are you going to dispose of this material? Where are you taking this material? And that there would be a price for disposal.
Or they'll take it out for free, but we have to pay to dispose of it.
So,
Not free.
I know.
66.80 a ton, I've got a perfect
That word
place.
free.
Did we contact any of the Salvation
66,
Armies or
80
those
a
type
ton.
of places?
No, they do that. The 3 individuals, they do that.
Not my question.
Have
We
I
contact
contacted them? No.
directly.
No. No.
I think we should.
Well, if you'd like me to do that, I'd like a board vote that I would do that.
Well, I've,
Contact who?
Like the
But what I'm
Salvation Army.
proposing is, I've spoken to 3 people, and this is their business, this is what they do. They can go in, they can look around, and they'll give you a written estimate on what it's going to cost to dispose of everything. And included in that, I asked them, I said, I need a certificate of insurance, I need proof that you're an independent contractor, if you've got anybody, your nephew, your cousin, your neighbor, anybody helping you, I need that you to have workers' comp insurance, and to make, or they can give me documentation that they're an independent contractor and give me their certificate of insurance. I want at least one reference, written reference, and I have to know where the material's being disposed and how it's being disposed, because we're ultimately responsible.
Oh, yeah, we own it.
Okay? And it may be cheaper for us to let the material be disposed either through the recycling or through the incinerator.
You're going to prolong this whole ordeal if you notify Goodwill, notify this,
you know?
notify that, and say, come pick this, and they pick a few things, and then somebody else picks a few
Jesus.
things, and, I mean, just have someone go in, clean it
This
out,
is
be
what they
done with
do.
it.
This
How do
is
you
what they
know
do.
that Goodwill Salvation Army doesn't have a crew that does that? I can tell you for a fact they do it out in Arizona.
But-
Because I watched it take place.
And that's
Goodwill
fine.
drove
I'm
up to
good
a
with
house
that.
and they emptied the entire house, took it
me.
away, didn't
I'm-
cost a thing.
I'm
So how do you know?
I'm totally okay
making
with that, Catherine.
assumptions.
But not several of them. If it's one, I'm okay with that, and clean the house
It's a
out.
phone call. You call them up, we got a house, blah, 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 blah,
I'd
blah.
much rather it
Would
go
you?
to them.
Yes or no? Okay, no, they don't do it. That's easy.
But pick and choose, just want it clarified. I don't want, you to, if we're going to go that route, then pick one, say, can you do this? Come and clean it. You can have what's inside. Come and take it all. It all has to be done, all or nothing,
Broom
period.
swept clean.
Phew, out the door, fine, but I'm not one for saying, okay, you come in first and take this, all of what you can take, and then we'll have somebody else scoop up the rest, because that just prolongs it.
Well, and also the question is...
But yes, Goodwill and Salvation Army are perfect resources for us.
Right, and I told them that the town would take care of the yard, and they wanted to know what about the building and what's in the building material, is that included? And I said, I don't know, I will ask the board, because they seem to think there's metal in there.
Oh, the collapsed barn in the back?
I said, I don't know about the
Well,
back. I said, it's my understanding, we're just going to leave it as is.
Like some kind of a snow blower underneath
Yeah.
wood. You can see that there.
Yeah.
That's metal, but I don't,
I said no,
Notice
but I
what's
would
in
ask the board. I said, just leave the back alone, just don't even
I think it's a
go there.
liability if they go in there and they get hurt. I mean, if their
They have
insurance covers them.
insurance.
Their insurance covers them?
And that we're
There you
taking
go.
care of the yard. What's in the yard, the highway crew will get rid of. All right, so my question is then, in order for them to give a quotation, they need to go into the building and look and see what's in there.
Yep.
yep.
Okay, so am I allowed to let them go in
Please
and look
do.
at it? And they won't take a thing? Nobody will remove anything? Okay. And then and then I'll call the Goodwill, and who do you want called? Goodwill, St. Paul's, and is there another one?
Salvation Army.
Salvation Army.
Yeah.
What's the one up in Lakeport? I don't
St.
think,
Vincent de Paul.
Vincent de Paul.
Okay, and ask them to do everything, or just come in
They
and
don't
take
get
what
to
they
pick and
want?
choose. They either have a crew that's going
Okay.
to go out there and empty the building
Okay.
or not.
All or
Now, when
nothing.
you say empty the building, does that mean empty out the refrigerator and the food and get all the food out of there as well?
That's empty the building, huh, Catherine?
I don't care if they take the food or not. That would take, what, half an hour?
Yeah, but if you're gonna take the refrigerator,
Yeah,
you
that's
have to
just
take everything.
garbage. Yeah.
Well, if they're
Everything.
going to
Okay,
take the
so,
refrigerator,
I'm just
they have
saying,
to
are
take
they
the
taking
food
the
out.
garbage? Are they taking all the cardboard boxes? Are they taking,
This is a
they have to
one-shot
take
deal.
everything?
This is a one-shot deal. You're taking everything, you're
Taking
not
everything.
taking nothing.
Okay?
One-shot deal.
Okay, now, and chances are they will want to go in and look before they agree to
Yep.
do that,
That's
okay?
fine.
The only thing is that when we were talking with Greg, he hadn't been up to the attic yet.
Mhm.
Didn't he want to go up in the attic to see if there was anything of value up there? That would be the only, didn't he
Yeah.
say something to that
We
effect?
didn't go up to the attic.
We didn't, and sometimes that's where things of
Is there-
value.
I go up to the attic on Monday.
Is there any furniture
I'm
in
an
there
attic
that,
dweller from way back.
is there any furniture in there that Greg has identified that should stay?
Just one piece.
One piece he saw.
Like
he
a little
thought might be
table,
worth
yeah.
something.
Yeah.
I don't really want to go, but I'll go.
In
The other
where the
stuff,
staircase is.
He didn't seem to think it had any value.
Right. There's nothing of value
Right.
in there. But he was unsure of the attic because we didn't go up there.
Right.
We were uncertain of safety.
Somebody should look.
Oh, I'll go up in the attic. I went up in this attic, I'll go up in that attic.
Are you
I'm not
around,
scared.
are you around Monday?
I'll be here Monday at 10 a.m.
All right, and then I will try and get these other, well, the quotations for the building inspection, they don't need to go in, but the companies that want to go in and take a look at it, I would rather that be done middle to the late, towards the end of next week. Okay.
Any chance
Okay.
of handing that person the balance of their money at 10 a.m. on Monday?
I can't be at 10 a.m.
Well, like 4 PM.
4 p.m., 3:30 or 4. Might be able to be earlier. Well,
Sign it.
yeah, Tim has to
After we sign it.
process it, the selectmen have to sign the manifest, and then
I'll be here
treasurer or deputy will sign it.
Okay.
I'll be at Winnisquam Regional Middle School all day.
Okay, and when would you like the highway department? One thing Dennis does have to do is go in, and the basement door, in the kitchen that goes down to the cellar, we have that extra hasp. He'll put that on. We'll do that Monday. And then, and the board is in agreement that the highway department will remove all the items that are in the yard, cut down those trees down, and try and get the lawn cut a little bit.
I'm all for the manicuring of the yard, but why Why is the outside stuff any different from the inside stuff as far as just getting somebody to come in and haul it away? Why, just curious,
I don't know. That's-
why is
The
public...
outside stuff is junk.
Cardboard
It's
and
cardboard and
Yeah, it's
empty
garbage.
boxes and stuff.
Recyclables.
Recyclable stuff.
There's got, depending on what's there are people who would be glad to come and pick up all that metal and everything else.
There was somebody prior to our taking over the building that came from somebody that collects scrap metal
I know people like that.
and took a lot of the metal that was out there, so they've cleaned it out. A few weeks before we were there.
So there really isn't much of that stuff to be had.
There was some bicycles on the side and it looked like some frames, old bed frames.
We're not talking about the barn on any level, are we?
No, and I wasn't even talking about the bicycles. I was just talking about the
It's just boxes
brush
and
and,
brush.
I would love to see that be manicured a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a
Just so you
horror
can
show.
see
Is the I-beam still sitting there?
I believe so.
That should stay.
the,
What's that now?
There's an I-beam sitting there.
you know what's sitting on the pile in the back where it's collapsed, right on top, is the post to the porch,
Yeah.
the column.
There's
Throw
also
that
some
away.
windows there. Those should stay with
Oh,
the
I mean-
property.
New owner might want it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would say that the new owner would probably want it.
I'm
That
thinking-
I-beam has some value depending on its weight.
Right.
Where's the I-beam?
Right in the dooryard.
It's right
Yeah.
alongside of the building.
How long is it, Catherine? Manhole covers are going for about $300 a pop for scrap metal.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, but now we're getting
Well,
into
Dennis
picking
will
and
take
choosing
care of that, I'm
things.
sure he will.
He's likely to set it into the recycle bin.
No, it'd go to NRA. Dennis knows the value of that stuff, and it all goes towards his stuff that
It shouldn't go to N whatever, RRA.
No, we
It
need to
should go
recoup our
Max
taxes,
Cohen.
whatever we can
It
recoup
should
our
go to Max
taxes.
Cohen or one of the steel guys.
NRA gives us money for it. This is not like we're going to just give it to them.
No, but we'll get a better price from one of those guys.
Perhaps.
No, you definitely will.
I think
That's it.
that, so you've got a pretty good sense of what you're going to do at 16
Yep.
Prospect? You've got permission to do all the permissions you need, right? Okay.
And nothing leaves the property, except this list
Yeah.
on Monday.
Well, you better watch what I take then. 'Cause I want one of those big jars. No, I'm just saying. Sorry, I'm just saying it. It was a joke.
Are we done? No.
I'm done.
Do you have anything more, Joyce?
Nope. I've got more than enough.
All right, so see everyone tomorrow at 4 o'clock for the,
Can we take a few minutes and just talk about the Christmas lights on the island?
absolutely.
The park commissioners are meeting Monday night, and they're meeting more frequently to plan out the Christmas event, which is quickly coming upon us. I mentioned last week, they wanted to know if the selectmen would decorate the island, and that's going to have to go to Northfield, so that's going to take time.
I'm all for it.
Colored lights.
It's fine. It's more festive.
I think it's more festive, but that's just me.
Oh, we've always had colored lights. Christmas.
Are we talking Christmas tree or just lighting the gazebo or
The park commissioners,
bridge?
we're leaving it up to the selectmen to decide. I knew years ago, well, not that long ago, when I was a selectman, but there used to be a Christmas tree in the middle of the gazebo. There were lights along the gazebo,
Right.
and there was lights along the rail of the bridge.
That would be
It seemed to me there was something else lit up on there.
The pole, there's light poles, and I think they were wrapped around the light poles
Is that what it
as well,
was?
yeah. That
Something.
the little bridge was gone by then, the little foot bridge over the,
Oh, you mean the one that doesn't make sense unless it's flooded?
yeah, that's the one.
You need that in form of a motion?
I think so.
I make a motion that we light up the island as it used to be.
Second. Now, where does the money come from?
The selectmen's budget.
What's our budget? Not the selectmen's budget, but what's our budget for lighting up the island? I don't want to spend $3,000.
We don't have it,
We don't have a budget.
no.
So we still have to decide exactly what we're going to do, or we just going to let
much to
somebody
spend.
do this?
Right.
We have to figure out how much.
Right, that was an either-or, Catherine.
Well, I mean, it's, if you're going to light up the island, the park commissioners are saying, leaving it up to selectmen, because it's going to have to be, notifying Northfield. Either they're going to say, yeah, we'll help, or no, we won't, and then you're going to have to decide.
There's money budgeted for island maintenance.
So,
There's money budgeted there. We haven't really spent
Is there money left over from that?
Well, there you go.
How
How
much?
much money is on that line, Joyce? Do you know right
I
offhand?
know we budgeted 2,000 every year. I'd have to
you can
go-
see it's been, that would be quite lit up. Christmas on the island.
Have those fake deer and everything?
Oh, no, wait a minute, I think mine's over here, hang on.
I got mine right here.
Do you have it?
But I could just, I'll just take it to a Monday and saying that the selectmen voted to light up the island, and they're in the process of deciding what that's going to be. And
Park maintenance on the island, $2,000. We have spent $572.
$1,430.
So we've got a few bucks there on that line to light up the island. Is that part of a
Looking at.
wider effort? Are we just discussing island at this point, or the Main Street trees?
the park commissioners have money in their budget for the Park Street trees.
Okay, all right.
For the Main Street trees.
I was just curious on that point.
But they don't maintain the island.
No.
Because it's
No, I understand
Northfield.
that. I understand that.
The balance as of September is 1731. 1,731,
Okay.
as of
That's a lot of
September
lights.
2013. So, how about a maximum of no more than,
Why don't we see what Northfield's going to do?
Right.
Because like I said, I can just go back and tell them either yes or no, they're going to light up the island, and
but
we haven't decided.
if you say to
what.
them that Tilton's agreed to spend some money, and with the maximum of no more than $500, can you kick in 500? We
Oh,
could
you're
have a
talking
heck of
about
a-
for Northfield. Oh, I see what you're saying. Did you hear that?
Yeah, but I'm guessing there's a possibility that there's a chance that they might not feel that lighting the island was a priority for them. I know their budget's tight, everybody's is. I don't know how much they've got left on their park maintenance line, but if they didn't want to participate or couldn't participate, would it be possible to get their permission as co-owners of the island for us to move forward? Just as a what-if, because it could happen. I don't know what the inner workings of their
Let's talk
park.
to them first and see if they're willing to participate,
Yeah,
and we'll make a motion not to exceed $500. It's still,
you can buy a lot of lights for $500, but not necessarily good ones. We could buy one-use lights, or we could, you go and you buy,
should we pay for $5 on the big tree?
He just replaced lights. I don't think we put new lights on the whole tree, did we? Or did we? We did one year.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
can
did
get
take
the-
them all down.
you can get those little indoor-outdoor lights, or outdoor lights, pretty cheap.
So we say
But
1,000?
they're cheap, and they last one time, 2 times, maybe.
Let's not put a
How many
price
times are we gonna spend money for lights if we should get good lights out of the
All right,
gate?
we know how much money that we have in park maintenance left
Yeah.
over. Let's not set a price to it, and we'll go out and figure out, let's talk, you gonna talk to Northfield?
I don't think it should be me. I will, I don't mind.
Catherine, maybe, Catherine could, you wanna talk to Northfield?
Sure.
Oh, yeah, she'd love to, I could tell. I'm not even looking at her, and I know that's a,
Send Glenn an email or something.
Yeah, we will. I'll check into
call
it.
Mr. Smith and float the idea.
It'd be a nice thing for both towns to come together,
I would.
decorate the island, and, yeah.
It's too bad we couldn't run the parade around there. All right, so we're all set on that? Everybody's okay with that, the
So
motion?
the motion passes.
All those in favor of the motion?
Yes.
Yes.
So the motion passes that we will allow that,
We'll do something.
we'll do something on the island for lighting. We'll check with Northfield first, and then you're going to check Monday night with the Parks
I'll
Commission.
let them know that the selectmen voted to do something, but because we got to negotiate with Northfield, we're not certain just as to what that will be yet.
We don't know the price, right?
And as soon as we find out, we can sit down and draft a plan.
Make a motion to adjourn? Let's wrap it up.
Non-debatable.
Yeah, we
That's exactly right, it is non-debatable.
Oh my God, it might be.
Go Red Sox!
Back off, folks.